Welcome to Jan's Views, a place where I share my views and listen to yours. Whether you are here for my artwork, live streams, shorts, or just for the giggles, please be assured I appreciate each and every one of you. I hope that you will enjoy your time here on my channel. I would be eternally grateful if you would give a like to the video, consider subscribing and, dare I ask, even become a member. So without further ado, let's do this.
Hello, and a very good evening to you. It's Drama Friday. Listen, guys, nothing ever runs smoothly with me. You know that. I decided I was going to have butter chicken and rice for dinner tonight. And so that was at the back of my mind. Then I was messing around, doing a bit of housework, you know, the way you do. And then I thought, oh, if I'm having butter chicken, I really do need to have a Coke. Now the thing is, I used to love Pepsi, okay? But I decided a while ago, I'm not going to buy it all the time. It's not, it's not good for you. So I make sure I don't have it in the house all the time. So anyway, I'm rambling, but hey, what's a Jan's views with a ramble? Anyway, so I then decided I can't have butter chicken without Coke. So it was about 9:20. I've jumped in my car, whizzed down to the shop just so that I could get some Coke. That's how I roll, guys. That's how I roll. How the hell are you? Have you had a good week? I hope you've all had a good week. Hey, Edna, I'm going to put up the Doobie What's It for you in a minute. But there's something. Will I put you on before that or not? Yeah, I'm going to put you on in about 3 minutes. Okay, if that's okay. Capone Boxer, hello, sweetness. I hope you're well. Lovely to see you. And we've also got, now what's this? Oh, that's nice. You told people I was going live for Drama Friday in Anna's chat. Who's Anna? I don't know who Anna is. Yeah, drama. Hey, Zena, how are you, sweetness? I hope you're well. Anyway, guys, I was knackered. I was knackered earlier, and I thought, "Oh, I'm gonna have to have a nap." Then I realized it was like 7:30, and I thought, "No, I can't have a nap at 7:30. That isn't the right thing to do." So anyway, let's get on with this. We've got a lot to cover. I don't know, those of you that may have seen the thumbnail, that gave you a bit of a clue. I don't always hint at what I'm going to talk about, but today I thought I would. We've got a lot to go over, guys. So first things first, there's only one thing I need to say about this. And the answer is no comment, really. Just no comment. All right, that's enough of that. So, yeah, that's all I've got to say. There's just no point. I was happy with what I managed to say, or, you know, with how I put that video together. So I have absolutely nothing to say. Nada, zilch, nada. Done, dusted, told you it was a one-off. Can't be asked playing around. So that's that. Now, moving on. Moving on, guys. Oh my God. Okay. Don't say I don't prepare things, all right? I do. I do prepare things. Luckily, I prepared all this before I ran around for my Pepsi. So I'm now going to get lovely Edna up. So, because I'm sure she'll have things to say about this. Can you all see you're lost, Xena? Are you? Do you not have a Twitter? Listen, these two have been going hammer and tongs on Twitter. I mean, really? Listen, I don't take sides. I don't. No, I don't really. Do I take sides? Listen, if I like somebody, I like somebody, and I will support them by being friendly with them and, you know, just sort of being nice. If I don't like somebody, I don't particularly like either of these two, then I'm like, no, no, no. But I just thought it would be a good idea to discuss what's been happening. First, let's have this young lady on. Where are you, girlie? Where are you, girlie?
Hi, everyone. How are you
Hi.
doing?
Hi, lovely. Okay, so to
Hi, can you hear
pose,
me?
I can hear you fine.
Okay, awesome.
Good. How are you, sweetness? Are you good?
I'm doing well. I had therapy today, which went really well.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, I went to the grocery store and it wasn't a sensory overload, so that was a success. So I'm feeling
Mm-hmm.
great.
That's good. That's good to hear. Right, so we're gonna talk about this. But that
And of course, I'm excited to talk about dress. I'm so random. I'm sorry.
you you're excited to talk about what?
Drama.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that. That's our Friday treat. It's our Friday treat. Hello,
Yes.
no one special. I hope you're well. I must say, guys, I popped into. Let's just get rid of this for 1 second, because although we've got quite a lot going on, because I'm just a tad flustered. Because why am I flustered? Because I had to run around for
Yeah.
Pepsi.
Oh, okay.
That's the only
Yeah, you
reason
were
I'm
out touching grass.
sorry.
I said you were out touching grass. I saw your community post.
Yeah, I was out touching grass with my daughter's little doggy called Fifi. Oh, she's such a cutie. She's actually
Oh.
a rescue from Romania. They've had a few
Oh.
years now, but she gets very she's quite nervous. Um,
Mhm.
and she's never sure how to take me, so I have to be really, really gentle with her.
How
But
long have you known her?
oh, I can't remember. Few years now,
Is she
but
still nervous?
yeah. Most people are. No, no, she's just a bit silly. She's just a bit silly. So what happens is, I've obviously got the key, so I walk in. My daughter
Mhm.
was in London with the fam, so she said, "Oh, Mum, can you call in on Fifi?" So I said, "Yeah, of course I will." So, what's funny is I open the door and she's like, "Ruff, ruff, 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 ruff," and I just ignore her. And then I say, "Right, are we going out for a walk or what? What's happening here?" And then she
Right.
come up and she's wagging her tail, and I'm like, "Right, are we gonna let Nanny put on the lead or not? Are we just gonna be silly and
Mhm.
keep barking?" And she's perfectly fine. I mean, I went away with them. Was it last summer or the summer before? And she's absolutely adorable, but she's one of these that
Oh.
I can't go towards her to stroke her. I don't know whether it's because of what happened before they got her. Maybe some big black woman
Mm.
attacked her. I don't know.
Oh,
But yeah, so it's quite
I
sweet.
hope
But
not.
I quite
Yeah.
often go over there and just take her out, and I take her for a ride in the car, and bless her, she sits on the front seat, not on my seat, on the passenger side,
Mhm.
shaking. She's so nervous, she's really shaking. So I'm
Oh.
sure as I'm driving, I'm like, "Come on, girlie, we'll be fine. Guess where Nanny's taking you?" So all I do is take her to a coffee shop. But I like my coffee shop.
Nice.
So we sit outside, and and if it's something that she can eat, because I got a ham and cheese toasty today, so she liked it.
Okay.
So I was feeding her ham. Anyway, that's that. Let's no, Capone, that's not me. Oh, hang on, where's my comments? Where's my comments?
It might be me, although I'm not smoking. I had
Yeah,
a gummy though.
yeah, no, not me,
It's Friday. We're
darling.
relaxing. We're having fun.
So we need to relax, but we have got quite a bit of
Mhm.
tea to go over. We've got quite a lot to discuss. So let's get that picture back up. Firstly, Edna, I need to ask you: have you seen this squabble that's been going on
I
Twitter?
know nothing about it because I'm not on Twitter. So
Okay.
I'm seeing this for the first time with you.
Okay, well, you're not missing much. I'm not gonna put up all the Twitter stuff, because I don't want that nastiness on my channel, even if it's Drama Friday.
Okay.
I don't like it.
Does it get that dark or that kind of grimy? Mucky?
Yeah. I mean,
Oh,
Monty is like straight faced in his face telling Gigi that he's a PDF. And Gigi's responding in whatever way he can, and I don't think badly of him for responding in that way. But I mean, once somebody's called you that, how do you respond? You know?
Yes, that's a tough one. Yeah, I mean, it looks bad. You know, the thing is, people really are these things, and we know in this community. Like,
Mhm.
so do I think that Gigi's um, PDF file because of um whatever happened with him clicking and being surprised or whatever comment he made? I think he was just being silly. He was playing into it. I think it was a bad choice. But at the same time, you know, it's like when you put yourself out there, you know, I don't know. Kind of, you're leaving yourself open to attacks like this.
Who are you talking about? You're talking about
Gigi with Monty attacking Gigi, calling him a pedophile.
yeah, but what are you saying? Is that because of something um that Gigi's done? I just want to
Yeah,
respond
apparently
to Rhiannon.
he had access. Yeah,
Let me just
apparently he had
respond to
access to a
Rena.
folder. I'm sorry.
Right, so she said, I've seen the Twitter beef. It's extreme. Do you know, I'm surprised I'm surprised Monty's still got his Twitter, to be fair. That's my opinion.
You
Okay,
think
so
he should
let's
be
go back
banned
to
or
this.
blocked?
Sorry?
Do you think Twitter should ban or block him?
Yeah. I
Oh,
think
okay.
Twitter should definitely ban Monty. I wasn't gonna put all the stuff up because, as I say, I don't want all that crap, you know, on my channel, to be honest. But I mean, if you have a look
Mhm.
at what I put here, let's make us small again. If you have a look
Okay.
here, oh, I've gone all over it. Now, a lot of the time, whenever Monty says something or
Mhm.
whenever Gigi says something, this Alex Glitter, comes really, really hard for Gigi. Now, I don't know all the ins and outs of Gigi, but I have seen
Mhm.
quite a lot because I am on Twitter and he's always sort of been in my radar. Um, but I just one of the first times I spoke up about Monty was when he um started calling him a groomer, and I couldn't believe that. Zena, if you want to come up, darling, click on the link if you've got a
I was
lot to
gonna
say
say,
about
yeah.
it. Um, right. Hi, Deb. It's lovely to see you. Thank
Well,
you.
see, the thing.
Lovely comments, Deb. She's lovely. Thank you, darling. That Amber chick says, I think Twitter and YouTube both should. At the least, he should be demonetized. I agree.
Hi, Amber. I oh, okay. So the thing with the groomer, that goes back to something with Tragic, right? Where he was allegedly grooming Tragic.
Yeah.
And
And that was
see,
the first
Gigi does this
time.
thing where he. Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on. I keep interrupting. Go on. You speak, darling. Sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say, and Gigi does this thing where he's talking about Monty and his minor crimes. Which I think hilarious because it's like, what crimes are you talking about? Like, what, you know, like he's poked at Monty, and we know that when Monty attacks, he does take it seriously. So I'm not surprised, but it's like if you play with him and you know how he is, you can't be surprised when he responds this way.
But I mean, if we're looking, see, I mean, I've actually written down in my notes tit for tat. Now,
Hmm.
okay, I can understand that, you know, people do play tit for tat. But I think it's a bit, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but I mean, when it's something so serious, I don't think that it's tit for tat. I'm sorry. I can't go along with that. If Gigi is coming back with things that Monty has done in the past, um,
Hmm.
in my opinion, fair enough, you know. But I would have assumed, or I do assume, that if Gigi is coming back with those things, he's obviously seen evidence of that. Now, what I will say about Monty calling him a groomer is that there is no proof of that. Show the proof. And what I've seen is all these little bits and pieces that Monty is trying to piece together to make this awful jigsaw puzzle with Gigi as a groomer, I think is wrong. And I think it's damaging, and I think he's very lucky he's in Canada, because I would think, I mean, look at Hussey, okay? Look at Hussey. We know what a complete and utter moron he is and what a liar he is, okay? But he has still managed to go to court and get them to believe him that he's been slandered. And that's nowhere near what Monty is now doing to Gigi. In my
I would
opinion.
hope that it wouldn't go to court. Like, it's not that serious, is it? I mean, maybe if Gigi feels like him being called a groomer, what have you, is that serious? You know, but it kind of baffles me that it needs to go to the lawsuit status. I think that's just taking it a bit too far.
But then maybe that's because you're not a gay man. I mean,
That too.
I've spent the last, how many years? 3, 4 years being called a liar, being called a doxer, being called this, that, and the other. That's bad enough, okay? But to have somebody come for you, I don't know, to have somebody to come for you as a person and to put together all this information that is so, it's just, there's just no proof of it. I've seen the videos. Right, let me just see what Amber Chick said. With peace and love, Edna.
I know they're tearing me up in the chat.
Yeah, but I think, listen,
I mean, rightfully so. I don't disagree. I hear you guys. Yeah.
Yeah, you only know what Monty is telling you. Listen, the thing with I mean, I say it all the time, but I mean, Edna knows how I think about her. I don't want her dragged through the coals, but I mean, if you're making valid points, then that's fine, and we will address them. Okay, are you happy with that, Edna?
Oh yeah, listen, I'm not it how do I put this? But one thing is like I'm here for a good time. Like I'm not trying to be, super serious about this. And I don't want it to be to the fact where I like want to cancel people. Like I want YouTube to be fun. But at the same time it's like I'm not gonna turn completely blind eye to whatever nonsense. Like I'm not blindly supporting anybody, but what Monty like genuinely what I see of Monty doesn't match what I feel like he's been accused of. And when he talks about Gigi and they're back and forth, I feel like they're both equally kind of ridiculous with it. I don't think one's better than the other necessarily.
I do agree with you. It is tit for tat, but I think there has to be boundaries, and I think Monty has crossed them. Put it that way. Yeah, I
Okay.
can see you. I can see you, Xena. Let's get Xena on. She's champing at the bit. Hello, sweetness. How are you?
Welcome.
Hello, can everyone hear me okay?
Yeah,
Yes, you're loud and clear.
There's no feedback or anything like that, is there?
No, you're good. You're
Awesome.
good.
Awesome. Anyway, hi. This is
Hi.
just crazy, like absolutely insane. It's been driving me up the wall because I think again he didn't reply to, and I know obviously it's the back and forth thing, and someone has to like finish it, obviously, but he didn't reply back to or make a response to the video that I did. solely, because the video that we did, you know, calling out certain things and showing receipts, he conveniently stopped at that. So that's why I did that little condensed video. And
Yeah.
Jan, you saw it, didn't you, with the back and forth, back and forth. Oh, thank you, Capone, for linking my channel, and Farida's, thank you so much. So obviously, you know, the facts were brought to him. The thing is, I think that he finds it really, really hard to see things in the bigger picture. He's very, very linear. He's very matter of fact. There's
Are you
no
talking about Monty
ambiguity.
or Gigi?
Monty, 100%.
Okay.
There's no ambiguity in anything. He takes things and runs it for a mile, rather than, even with sarcasm, I don't think he quite understands sarcasm. But what I find is that any little kind of negative criticism he comes for. So, and it's a reach. Like, I don't know if you saw the video that he did in regards to the bauble earrings that I just put in the chat before.
Yeah,
that was a complete. And I'm not a black person, and it was like the whole Foxy 8 thing. I had my own personal thoughts, but I thought it's not appropriate for me to say, because I can definitely see why people could get offended by it. And obviously people express, like both yourselves of women of color, you said your feelings on it. So with the Christmas bauble earrings, I think that was just silly. It wasn't depicting a black woman because they wear big earrings. It's a gaudy jewelry that people wear at Christmas time.
Well, they said something about Black Christmas,
and that's because of history. They were relating to Boxing.
No. So I'm not saying that the way Monty took it, because he took it to be like in Canada, the day after Christmas is Boxing Day. So you know, it's like he was thinking it. I think he took it as like, oh, it's a Christmas for the less fortunate, and equating it to blackness. And other people was thinking, because Kwanzaa begins on the 26th, that they were making fun of, you know. So people were interpreting it in different ways. I just think it's you know, like, they could both be valid.
The guy in the video as well, he was black as well. The guy was black as well in the video, but Boxing Day, I think that's misconstrued. I think he said something about giving it to the children, and I think originally, if I'm not mistaken, it was to do with actually like the slaves of like rich aristocrats. So it was more to give, and a lot of the slaves were actually white. If it more I can't say the word.
Aristocracy.
Yes, thank you, Jan. And it was more for that. So it's more of an elitist thing and a class issue than it was with a racial issue. And then I think over time, that's when it's been, you know, they say give it to misfortune kids. Like I do that. I genuinely do that on Boxing Day. We pretty much, with my kids, all of the old toys, we put in a bag and we take it to the hospital. That's just what we've always done that. But it's not like it's a tradition because it's Boxing Day. It's just because I need room in my house, and then to give it to Miss Unfortunate, it's, you know, kill two birds with one stone kind of thing.
Right.
But anyway, with our online, it's just been, and Gigi has said some things back that I think is below the belt. I'm not going to lie. Like he said something like, something about regarding Monty's mother, something about your mother would be ashamed of you. Like that, which I think is too far. I do believe that's too far.
Yeah.
And that's from Gigi. He said things as well, which he doesn't necessarily, he's not clever, but he knows what to say online and he knows what to say on Twitter. However, I think Monty doesn't have that boundary.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to show my complete ignorance here. I didn't know obviously I know there's Boxing Day, but I didn't know what was behind Boxing Day. So I've learned something today.
Same here.
Oh, there
While
we go.
we're talking about this video, let's just share it for a minute. And I don't want to play too much of it because, to be honest,
no, I get it.
I was disgusted with it. And I know, like, it's Drama Friday, and you know, and I like to sort of, you know, talk about the drama and everything, but there's some things that you know, I'm just like, it's just
too far, isn't it? When did this just became too far for a lot of people?
Now, this is what Monty, I mean, initially, didn't he start? Here we go. This boy.
Yeah.
Right. Now, what I will say is, okay, what I will say is I have gay friends. I know, yeah, I have gay friends. Okay. Now, I follow some of my gay friends online. Now, what I do know is when they're together, right, when it's all, party time, gay men can be, a
Oh,
bit
yeah.
naughty.
Oh,
Do
of
you know what
course.
I mean? And that's all I saw in this. Okay. Now, would I choose to watch this myself? No, because I'm not in the gay community. So, I'm not going to play in the same way that gay men do.
Yeah, and
But
it's like they all call each other as well. I'm sure it's in this video, like the F got, but
yeah,
but it's appropriate for them to use it. It's like
yeah,
it's their word, so it's not something to get irate about because it's their word, and that's just what it's the same with the N word, with in that same vein. So yeah, it could offend people, but it's like it's their word.
I know. But I mean, I found myself getting annoyed. And the thing is, I'm not a fan of Gigi. I don't mind his shows. Like he does make me laugh sometimes, but I'm not a fan of him. I mean, I'm ostracized from there anyway, but that's another story. But when I saw this and I saw Monty trying to find something wrong with it. Now, going back to what I said at the beginning, I know for a fact, listen, one of my gay friends online, right? I follow his private account and I get embarrassed what him and his friends get up to.
No, I can
But
imagine.
then I realize, and the way they all talk to each other, and I mean, it's not, how can I put it? If you're not in that community, you may not understand it, and who are you to say that that's a bad way to react or to act? And I think the thing that Monty finds, where Monty is wrong here, is that he's coming in as a straight guy telling these gay men how to behave, and that's not fair. That's my opinion of that.
I don't
Barney,
know. I
hello,
feel like
sweetie.
Monty plays a little hetero flexible, that's for one. But two, it just seems like kind of
I
like
think
he's
Monty
going to
doesn't seem to be
status.
fueled. So Monty doesn't seem to be fueled by his own opinion. He very much seems to garner what other people's comments are and goes ahead with them. I've never once seen him think, I think this and I think that. I've seen him pull a comment from, so example, the Foxy 8 video. He was saying people found it offensive, but obviously the person that initially found it offensive was a white person. Who obviously happened to have a biracial child, but irregardless, that person was white. And I think that a lot of this has come, I think he's easily manipulated and easily to find a way to suit his own agenda. So if he openly says, I've got an issue with such and such a person, there's going to be someone who also doesn't like that such and such person. So he's going to be in his ear and give him information. Well, talk about this and talk about that. And it's blatantly obvious on here with the comments that he brings up by certain people to push that narrative out there. Like at one point, he said about turning the camera and that they were snorting cocaine.
I know.
So where does that come from? Just from, and he went,
But
oh, I never thought of that. It's like
but I mean, if somebody says it in chat, it's a possibility. He just put it up on screen. Like I don't think that's him.
No,
But Edna, I
no,
could say
You
I was the
know,
queen.
I
Right, hold
don't
on,
agree with
watch 1
that,
minute.
Edna. Honestly, I don't agree with that. He needs to have
okay.
his own mind.
I've just
He
put in the
needs to
chat
have
that
his
I'm
own
the Queen
mind.
of England. Does that mean that I'm now the Queen of England? Do you know what I mean? In that
Okay.
sense, it's just, it doesn't work like that. And he should have,
No.
research and to take things with a grain of salt from all of us. And that's when you do the research yourself, not just even if that comment was put there, I was like, oh, okay, I'm gonna have to see proof of that. I'll do my own research, but straight away he follows the narrative because it's against the person that he doesn't like.
Yeah. I mean, I've not noticed that in him.
Oh, I have. I watched him that much.
Yeah, I mean, I only watched this because I've been seeing what's going on Twitter, and I was like, oh my God, what's he going to come out with this time? And what he's actually done, guys, for people who don't have Twitter and don't really know how deep this has gone, Monty has decided he's going to dig up absolutely anything about Gigi. Now, listen, Gigi's not whiter than white. I know that. I'm sure everybody knows that. But to try and embarrass a gay guy who is genuinely just having fun with his friends like this, do you know what? I don't think I'm going to play it. I'm going to play it without the sound. Okay, so that you can see these are just gay men messing around. They had very few people watching them, and they were being silly, a bit coarse. Listen, I watched Drag Race. There's nothing more coarse than a gay man. I'm telling you, whether he's in drag or not, you know.
They're very flamboyant. It is. It's just how it is. It's like, if you want to call it, what would you call it? A culture, gay culture? Is that the correct term to use?
It is. And because I've had several gay friends,
of course, it's a culture.
I've learned a lot of what actually happens within the gay community, and that there are so many different types of people in a gay community. And I like to learn that. I love experiencing other people's cultures, whether it's sex culture.
Not everyone's one, like they're not a monolith, they're multifaceted. They're not, everyone thinks that gays, they're flamboyant and that, but there's not. There's like
not all of them are.
The most masculine, strongest men going that are also gay. So it's, there's a complete spectrum of it. And then obviously,
a girl, he's wearing Christmas ornaments in his ears.
Exactly. So Edna, that's what he's saying. He's saying that is racist.
I've never heard anything like
because he says it's
stereotypical. Here, Edna.
He said it's stereotypical of black women to wear big earrings. I wear big earrings all the time.
Listen, over here, tell me if I'm wrong, Zena. Over here, big earrings are associated with Pat Butcher of EastEnders, right?
Exactly. I was trying to tell Farida this.
I
was trying to tell Farida this, but obviously she, she's from America and doesn't quite understand. I said the Pat Butcher earrings, and she went, "You are?" I was like, "The Pat Butcher earrings." I said, and I was trying to explain. What was I trying to explain? Oh, we did a stream the other day about Foodie Beauty and Amber, and I said about how Foodie wears. She wears these beige pants, like Roy Cropper pants. She was like, "What? Who's Roy Cropper?" I was like, "Oh, you don't watch Coronation Street, you don't know."
Oh, I mean, fair enough. The world's a big place, and things mean different things to different people. So,
but don't you think it waters it down, Edna? Don't you think it waters down what actual race for what people should be angry and annoyed about? Where this
I don't think so, because if you feel some kind of way, you don't know. It's like if I have an experience as a black woman with somebody, it can have nothing against being my race or being whatever. You know what I mean? But that's always a factor in my experience that can't be discounted. So, if Monty brings that up, I'm not going to discount it from him either, because I wouldn't want somebody to do it to me.
No, I understand.
You bring up a good point to where this could have nothing to do with it, and he could be completely reaching. But I don't know, when he brought it up, when they were saying Black Christmas, and when I thought about Kwanzaa and different things, it fit into play. It made sense. So I don't necessarily think he's wrong about it.
White. So tell me what Black Christmas is.
Wait, say it again.
I was brought up by whites, so tell me what Black Christmas is, because I don't know what Black Christmas
is. It's a Pan-African celebration. It's about community and things. It's not really like a religious thing, so it's not associated with with Christmas per se, but it's just each day between the 26th and the first of the year, it's like a different principle. One's like unity, creativity, different, different like principles that um, some who I forget who created the celebration, but they came up with different principles to kind of celebrate and like the fostering the community economy, like community economics, things like that. So, to see somebody kind of like making fun of lightly talking about Black Christmas and if that's what they were actually talking about, I can
But
see how
then
that's
this
offensive.
guy's a black man.
I just thought it was a film at first.
This
But
guy's a black man, so he
Mhm.
should be able to talk about Black Christmas. Who, but he was the one that was sort of saying it, wasn't he?
Yeah, he did. Well, yeah, he was. He very
But
much
see, I
was. And
wouldn't
then
think
and
he's
then
black.
Gigi
Like I
turns
wouldn't,
around and goes
I
like,
didn't
"You're
know he was
Latino or
black.
something." But no, he was. But then I think Gigi said something like, "Oh no, you're more Latino or something." And I think the joke was coming between them. But you
Right,
can tell they've
he looks
obviously got more
black.
of a personal. They've got a more obviously a personal relationship, and that seems like the joke between the two. But then obviously the Monty again goes on about Gigi even being more racist with trying to do accents and dialect and stuff like that.
I'm
And
sorry.
no, he's fine. Sorry.
I'm just
Yeah,
reading chat and I'm like, what sword? It's like the thing is, it's like I'm not like necessarily defending it. Like I'm not like pro whatever X, Y, and Z, but it's like
No,
to say that someone's completely out of line or they don't have any point, I just think that's going a bit too
no, I'm
far.
not saying
Like
he's out
yeah,
of line, but I do think in this, like again, the Foxy 8 thing completely get the juxtaposition of it, of why people would feel that way or not feel that way. But I think this is too far.
yeah,
And it can be dangerous to say that this
yeah.
is racist,
It's like they
especially
just
with just
put
the
that up.
baubles.
Yeah,
It's
calling someone a PDF
yeah,
is defamatory. Exactly. That is absolutely
it is. It
egregious and could have
hmm
devastating consequences for the accused. It shouldn't be weaponized either. And I think that's it. I think the situation is that most of us in here now are of the opinion that Monty at this point is just trying to find anything
yeah, I
in
agree.
which to whip
Yeah,
Gigi with.
yeah.
And it's offensive
Mhm.
and it's easy to say, oh, it's really childish, it's tit for tat, tit for tat.
No.
Um
But it's not
but
come from his views, I
no,
don't think. This is what I'm not sure if he actually believes it, because again, he's
I
just
don't think
following people that
so.
straight away don't like Gigi, and Tragic and Gigi obviously have a history, and that's what's being fed to him, so he leads with it. So I don't know if Monty actually believes in it. I really don't. I
I
just think
don't
he's just going with
know.
what's easy.
I'm just amazed that, I mean, how can you look at that picture and say, oh, racist? The
No.
guy's black.
Yeah.
And also over here, big earrings got nothing to do with black women. Nothing to do with
No.
them.
No.
If
Should get
anything, it's a middle-aged white woman
yeah, exactly.
over here. But when you look at this video, he was going from that to he was like stopping every so often and just trying to literally nitpick or twist things around to feed his agenda. And
Yeah.
his agenda was to prove just how vile Gigi is. Now,
Yeah.
listen, I've seen that video. I've seen that video where Gigi was writhing about. Could it have been seen as inappropriate? Yeah, really. But having said that, that doesn't make him a PDF. It makes him a bit inappropriate when he's had a drink. And,
No,
if I was in that party, I would have said, "Oh, don't do that in front of the kids." Do you know what I
Yeah, I
mean?
agree. I agree. Yeah.
But, you
Yeah.
know, to blow it
Oh, are
up.
you talking about when he was dancing
Yeah.
with the child being a few spots
Yeah,
down?
it's like, but again, it's like it's a public place. It looked like it was a bar.
Mhm.
They wasn't directly in the vicinity of him. This kid was on the karaoke stage, and obviously, I think he was drunk. He was just obviously listening to the song, and he just was inappropriate. You always get your Uncle Knobhead at weddings that
Exactly.
acts that way. Who, you know, what's it called? Like She Bangs will come on by Ricky Martin, or what do you call it? What's he called? Tom Jones will come on, Sex Bomb. And
Yeah,
you've
I
got your
know.
pissed up uncle dancing Sex Bomb, and he's like dancing about, gyrating, and there'll be tons of kids around. It's the
Yeah,
same aspect, and I think
yeah,
it's literally reaching.
yeah. And I think, you know, I didn't believe it. I can't remember who was the first person that said, "Oh, you should see what they're like on blooming Twitter." And I thought, okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, my mind has been blown. I've been quite entertained, but in the same way, I've also been disgusted. And I'm more disgusted at Monty. I really am. Because not only is he attacking a homosexual man, um, he's also trying to publicize his thoughts on it. For me, he's just coming across as being homophobic and just really, really hateful. And I think he needs someone to say in his ear, like, enough,
Yeah.
enough
Yeah.
now,
I
Hmm.
agree. I agree.
you
I
know?
agree.
I mean,
And that's
fair
why it's like
enough.
he
I didn't take
needs
it
a friend.
that
Like
way, but
Edna,
I
like,
hear you.
can you speak to him, Edna? Because he listens to you and you're in his chat. Could you not
No,
like
he
literally pull
doesn't.
him to a
Yeah,
side and just
I don't DM Monty. Like, I don't have
No,
any
I know.
special relationship with him. I just
No.
hang out in the chat. That's it. Like, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't have anything against mine. Like, I enjoy his content and being in chat. I
Yeah.
do, you know, but and I don't see. I don't know. I just don't take it to a certain level. So, you
No,
know,
I know it's like
I just don't take.
responsibility.
Yeah.
I mean, he's, you know, he's got his own agency and he is
Mhm.
responsible for himself. He is a grown man at the end of the day, and probably older than you and me. And it isn't down to
Honestly,
any
even if we were friends, I still wouldn't take responsibility. Like even for
No.
somebody like Timber or whatever, like, you know, who I did talk to, I
Yeah.
still don't speak for her, you know.
No, it's not speaking for her. It's just like, you know, behind the scenes of like, you know, it's not about publicly exposing. Obviously, don't speak to him. But I'm saying if you do, like, for example, with me and Freed, I know we obviously have a joint channel now, but if we didn't have a
Mhm.
joint channel,
Oh,
um,
congrats.
oh, thank you, thank you. I'd obviously say something, and every time, you know, we finish a live, we always speak about it anyway, and like, did it come off
Mhm.
this way? Did it come off that way? And you know, we're really honest with each other. I said about what content we want to do, and said like, no, we don't want to do that. But I think if one of us was to step out of line, we would talk to each other. We wouldn't expose each other.
Yeah,
But if you don't have that
You know, I
relationship
do
with him,
hope.
then that's fine.
Yeah, I understand. It's like taking kind of, I guess, like a certain level of like respect in the content that you
yeah,
put out, or like it's accountability. I don't know. I just don't think. I don't know. I
No, it's not down to you. It's not down to you. I was just saying, I
No,
thought because he
it's like I've
listens
been
to you, that's
specifically
all.
told it's not my. But no, I've been specifically told it's not my place in the community
No,
to
that's
say
true.
X, Y, and Z and to do X, Y, and Z.
No.
Right. So maybe before I did think, and I've been persuaded not to, so that could be a part of it. But it's
Yeah.
like I'm not a creator. Like if I felt
No.
the need to say X, Y, and Z or whatever, I would put that on my channel. But it's
yeah,
No,
not.
I
I don't
agree.
know. It's just not something I feel the need to say or to
yeah.
comment on. Really.
No.
And I think also, you know, people need to realize, you know, the world is made up of very different people. And there are people like myself and people like Xena who will, you know, put the camera on and say what we jolly well think
Yeah.
and, you know,
Mhm.
be quite forceful with it. And, you
Mhm.
know, that's the type of person we are. Now,
And
what
I
we have
love
to
it.
remember is
Mhm.
Edna's not like that, you know. Edna sees things differently. And I like her for that. I like that. Is it infuriating sometimes? A little bit.
You
But
remind me just like my sister. My sister is just like you, Edna. And she'll
yeah,
say,
No.
and I love my sister. My sister is obviously my best friend, but she's my younger sister. But I've always been the advocate. I've always been the spokesperson for everything. And we were having a bit of a family tiff at the moment, and she's seen everything that's happened, and he's sort of like, I'm not saying sides, but she was there for me for what had happened, but she still very, very much plays the mediator, and almost, I'm not saying that you pretend that nothing happens, but that's the way that she's like, because she doesn't like conflict. She wants everything to get along, and it's infuriating to see of like, why don't you just speak to this person? Like, oh, come on, they'd listen to you. And she just doesn't get involved. So I mean, like I said, I love her to death. So you really remind me of her. But I think like me and Jan, we're very much like, no, you need to listen. And you know, maybe we're a bit too ballsy at times.
Yeah.
No, I think that's a good quality, and I could probably be a bit more ballsy because, like, I had a conflict, and instead of really saying anything, I just like went home.
Yeah.
Told my
It's
therapist
learning not
about
to
it.
be
She's like,
walked
"You
all
didn't
over
say
and not to be
anything," or
manipulated. That's
yeah.
the
Well, the
thing.
thing is, it's like I didn't want to deal with the bullshit, and it's like
No, I get you.
I don't know. Yeah,
But as I said, you know, we're all very different. And I mean, if you were like me, Edna, we'd be like, you know, clashing horns or whatever the saying is, every time we were on panel together, because we'd both want to, you know, have our word. But I mean, having you here, it sort of keeps me a bit calmer sometimes. And it
You
does
do
give
remind
me
me like the
another
pairing of
perspective.
you is like Pinky and the Brain, you know, a bit like completely different from each other, but in the
We
best way. Or like Dexter and Dee Dee, Dexter's Laboratory and Dee Dee, you know, completely different,
oh
but they kind
yeah.
of work in the best way.
Yeah.
It's like I'm
But
not sure who's Pinky and who's the Brain. Am I
I,
Pinky?
I think you're Pinky, yeah, Edna, I think you're Pinky. I'm like, what are we doing tonight, Jan? And then Jan's like, same
yeah.
thing we do every night, trying to
Yeah,
piss
but
off people on YouTube.
but Edna is sweet, you know. She's sweetness. She's a bit of sweetness in my life. And, you know, I don't like it when people are saying, oh, Edna this, Edna that, and that. But then having said that, Edna needs to realise that, you know, if she does say things
Yeah.
like that, oh, well, it doesn't really matter. You know, there are going to be people that say, well, no, it does matter, you know.
And
And
it's that
I'm one of
affiliation
those
thing
people,
again,
you know.
isn't it? Like that's what Monty dragged me and Frida for. I mean,
Yeah.
Jessica Messica was in our chat, and then you know a lot of her close followers were in there as well. I don't know any of these people and what else they talk. I really don't. And then you know Monty was saying everything that they'd done, and I didn't have a clue. I did not have a clue what he was
Listen,
talking
Zena,
about.
I was in the Discord and I didn't know half of this stuff.
Yeah,
Like this is
exactly. When he was talking about this naked and laughing person, I thought, who is this? So literally, it was the day after, and I think Jessica was doing a stream, like a premiere about it, and I thought, what? Let's have a look who this. I still did not know who she was, and I'm not involved with it. So again, he was like,
yeah.
because they're in your chat, you're affiliated with them. How can you, you know, co-sign that they're doxing, that they do this? And I was like, I have no idea what you're talking about, and again, it's like with you being affiliated with Monty, with being in his chat, and then having, you know, people say negative things towards you when you're not involved.
Yeah.
So I can understand that.
I have to
No, it's
say,
quite funny.
it's quite similar to how Dee Higgins used to be when I was
Okay.
doing panels with Dee, and the type of person that she is offline. She's very sort of, you know, quietly spoken, a bit like you, and so you do remind me a bit of Dee Higgins, but the only difference is I think Dee was more, what's the word? More easily manipulated by other people. And I don't think you're manipulated. I just think that you're just so laid back that you're like, oh, well, I don't really see it like that, you know. I sort of
And
see,
to
and
give
I
these
think,
credit, I think a lot of people are like that online, because I think, you know, you get like regular donators for, you know, people have channels like even
Yeah.
like MFW, they always have regular donators, right? And
Mhm.
obviously when
Mhm.
someone's donating, you're gonna shower them with love even more and appreciation, especially when it's a reoccurrence, and you're gonna highlight them more and gonna feel like almost that parasocial relationship's getting stronger. So for someone that maybe doesn't get a lot of acknowledgement in the life for one reason or another, or just even like, because you know, when your comment gets, I get a buzz, and that's just my comment. If my comment comes on, like, oh, they're talking about me, and it gives me a bit of
Yeah.
a buzz. I'm not gonna lie, it really does that you're being
Mhm.
acknowledged. And I don't super chat, right? I'm broke as fuck, so I'm not giving anybody anything. But I'm saying
Yeah.
that, you
But
know,
you
it
know
gives
what,
the
Gina?
people
It's
that,
like,
yeah. Go on.
I was
Sorry.
gonna say, on one hand, it's like a buzz, like, oh, you know, you get that acknowledgement, but the other hand, it's like, ah, they see me, like, take it down quickly, you know? Like,
Yeah.
so part of it is, I don't know, like, I kind of kid when Jan's like, oh, where are you? And I can't see you. It's like, that's
Mm.
fine, it doesn't matter, you know? And it's like, honestly, like, I don't, you know,
Whereas I
like,
think Jan's immediately seen, isn't she? Like the moment she puts hi, it's like block,
I
done,
know.
leave.
And you know why? Because I call a spade, and a lot of these people, they can't take it. I
No, and
mean,
I think it's a
no.
culture thing as well. I really do. I think some of the things that you don't quite understand, like cultural differences, just from sayings, just, you know,
yeah,
sarcasm. And obviously, you know, it's not like it's a different language, but it can be
yeah,
interpreted a lot differently. Like I'm very sarcastic and can be
yeah,
dry, and I think people might
Mhm.
not realize that. Like, what did I say the other day? I said something like, "Oh, I don't know the ins and outs of a cat's arsehole," and someone
yeah.
like, "What the fuck is she saying?" I'm just joking.
And they take it literal. They take it
Yes,
really literal.
Yeah.
I've had
yes,
the same
But
thing.
that's why it's so funny.
Yeah.
mm,
It's like, especially with, you know, my old mate, Fedora, she
oh
does it
yeah,
all the time. And when she's
mm,
come for me and she's tried to sort of, you know, have a go about something I've said, and it's quite literally, and she's taken it literally. It's like
yeah,
I'll go back to what happened, like with what's her name, Vicky. And I said to her, and I mean, I wasn't going to, you know, I'm not going to address that group. I really can't be asked. But I said to her at some point, I said, listen, my daughter, who happens to be blonde and blue-eyed, would wipe the floor with you. And what I meant was verbally. Do you know what I mean? Because my
Mhm.
daughter, who, although she
yeah,
may appear as, you know, white passing,
yeah,
she knows a lot more about Black Lives Matter, and she feels very strongly about it from two different sides, actually,
yeah.
because she has faced white privilege as well.
Of
So
course.
you could have a really interesting conversation with her because
Yeah.
she feels so strongly. She did she go to Black Lives Matter march? I can't remember. I think she did.
Jen, I love people like your daughter because as a unambiguously Black woman, it's like I
Mm.
can't say peace without people being like, "Calm down," you know?
Yeah,
I
I've
Like,
know.
always
what
thought
the I
about
haven't
this
even said anything yet.
from like a white person's perspective. I've always thought of like people that, 'cause the first time I heard about colorism, because I didn't even know it was a thing, it was an interview
Mhm.
with Beyonce's father. And
Oh,
he said
Oh.
about how Beyonce got to where she was because she's lighter skinned, and I thought, "Oh, don't be so ridiculous. It's because of talent at
mm,
first," and then I obviously educated myself on it. But I always wondered about light skin, or even biracial people of like, I can really sympathize with where they would stand,
yeah,
but they're not black enough and they're not white enough. So do they go on the white group where they'll probably be, you know, the lowest at the bottom, but they're in the superior group, or do they go into the quote unquote black group and be top dog because they're more accepted? So, and just to be in that middle
no.
of like what's acceptable or not, I can imagine it's very difficult,
It is
very
very
difficult.
difficult, and especially as I mean, out of all my children, I've got 4 children, and they're all different shades. It is quite
Yeah,
funny.
yeah,
Um, But, you know, she was the first, and she just came out blonde with blue eyes. Now, I'm not bragging about it. The point I was trying to make to Vicky was the irony of it, really.
Yeah.
And, you know, and I was trying to explain why I couldn't understand her, who was presenting as I knew she had some sort of she was kind of
Like
a person
she's
of color,
Latina, yeah.
but I didn't know. And I actually asked her what her family were, you know, what her origins were.
Yeah.
And you
That's
know, it's like,
interesting.
oh, listen to Jan. She's asking her this. And I was genuinely trying to have a conversation with this girl. So when I brought my daughter into it, at that point, it wasn't as a flex. It wasn't as whatever they think it was. It actually, because I've seen the pain my daughter has gone through it, where
Yeah.
people assume that because she's blonde with blue eyes, that she doesn't have a black mother.
Yeah.
And you know, there's so many other kids that have gone through that,
It's
and
like
that
Mariah Carey. She's is she biracial or is she
I think.
black?
Yeah, I think she's biracial, but
Yeah, I had no
biracial
idea.
is still black though.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
exactly.
that's another subject, you know, that's another topic. But what I wanted to say was my daughter, out of the four of them, is the only one that's not the only one, but she's really felt she wanted to know her roots so badly. And she was the one that pushed me to get my DNA done, and she
Yeah.
is ecstatic
Oh,
now
good.
knowing where the black side of her family come from. But, you know, she spent years
Wow.
when she was younger, she spent years going to black clubs and being the only white
White
person, you
passing.
know, white passing person in there, and having people look at her like she was a piece of dirt because they couldn't see that her mother was black. So all this crap that these haters try and put out into the world
It's a feeling
is
of belonging and identity, so I can't even imagine, because like you said, she's got them roots instilled in her and she's not being accepted by her own community, and
yeah,
it must be, you know,
it's
devastating.
awful.
Yeah,
It
and then she's not
was.
accepted in,
Yeah.
because she's not full on white either, so it's knowing
No.
that. So I get it. I completely
And
get
all
it.
my kids have gone through it to a certain degree.
Yeah.
You know, especially like at primary school, where I would be like at some instances, because we sort of lived in quite a nice area, there weren't very many black mums waiting for their kids. And
No.
you know, when my kids would come out, I mean, the people get used to it in the end, but imagine, you know, my kids went through times when other kids would say, "Well, how come your mum's black? Is that your," I think,
Yeah.
you know, "is that your home help type of thing?" You know?
Yeah.
And people don't realize that. So when you get on these panels, as much as you try and say the right thing all the time, there are times that I don't say the right thing. But you know, especially sort of that corner of the internet, and we know
But
who
I
I'm
think
talking
that's the thing, it's having conversations, isn't it? I think people are
about.
expected to know everything and people aren't, so you have to go and educate yourself. So, but by just simply asking questions, it's
Mhm.
hard because
Well,
that's
we also
taken as
have
an
to
insult.
remember we
Go
have
on.
to remember when we're asking these questions that whomever we're asking, they're not an authority on their entire race or
No, of
culture or what
course
have
I
not.
you.
know, I
Yeah.
know. So
Yeah,
I
again, I'm a white person who will never ever know what it's like. I'll never have that lived in experience, no matter how many black friends I have,
mm,
or black acquaintances, or any kind of other race other than my own. I will never, ever, ever have that experience. So obviously, you hear different there's no point me going, oh, well, that doesn't happen here and that doesn't happen there. There's certain things, and there's a lot of other factors in it, whether it be classism or whether it be just environmental factors. You know, people have different experiences, and it's just like not to disregard one for another.
I know.
And ableism too. That's one thing I'm
100%.
realizing. There's so much ableism in the
Yeah.
world that, you know, people don't realize. Like here in America, we had another mass shooting, and then
Oh,
you know
in
the
Maine,
thought,
wasn't it?
the conversation of mental health comes up, and
100%.
it's like you cannot see someone's mental health. You know what I'm saying? So whomever you're dealing with, you're acting like they're you know, able mind and body, and you don't know. And it's like we're effing around and finding out.
Yeah, and that's what you're finding out with the generations, like what you said, Jan, before, like you didn't have them resources, or you know, back when you were younger, and for someone to able to really take you to a side and really like, there's more to this rather than you just being, you know, a head in the clouds or what. I saw a video on TikTok, and it was in the 60s, and there were all these children, and they were in some kind of school, and they clearly had autism. They were stimming, they were flapping, they were, you know, illiterate, non-verbal, stuff like that. And the narrator was basically saying, look at these children, they're displaying psychosis. And this little girl was just like sort of running around in a circle, flapping, stimming, and said, see, she's thinking of psychotic thoughts of how she's going to like kill somebody. And I thought, is this a joke?
Wow.
But it was generally, honestly, a narration, a documentary thing, or a news report in the 60s of these children. What they said were having psychotic episodes when they weren't. They were just clearly autistic and had ADHD. And
And when
it's
you look at
terrifying.
the way that perpetuates in like the prison system, and you know, like what children get to go to certain schools and don't, like go to trade schools, or who doesn't even get into school, you know,
Yeah, my kids are
it's really sad.
both of my kids have special needs. They're both on completely different ends of the spectrum. But my eldest was denied. He could not be in a mainstream school. He couldn't keep up. He's cognitively delayed. He couldn't keep up with it. He needed one-to-one at the time, and they couldn't find a placement for him. And he went, I think it was 10 months without any kind of school provision. They didn't send me any resources, nothing.
Wow.
And then exactly, like nothing whatsoever. So I'm trying to teach this kid, and I don't have a clue what to do. And then he finally gets a place somewhere is at a mainstream school, but just at a one-to-one whilst they wait for a placement at a special needs school, which would have been the following September. So he started in March the 1st it was. Week later, the pandemic happened. And he was off even further. So he went like nearly 3 years without any education. And because of that, they say when you get to the age of 7, that's pretty much, if you've not like learned language or any kind of communication, or you know, from the age of 7 is pretty much when it's kind of solidified. You know, like learning languages, it's best to learn when you're younger, but from 7, you're pretty much screwed. If you don't have any kind of language by the time you are 7, regardless of what it is, even if it's sign language, you are classed as being feral. So yeah, it's true. So
well, you know, what I want to say, because I don't want to get, you know, too bogged down with this, because
oh yeah, sorry.
you know, no, that's all right.
We talk about drama, shouldn't we?
But what I want to say
it's just so
to you,
interesting.
Zena, is I think your boys are very, very lucky to have you as their mother. And I really mean that, you know, because
so
I've
sweet.
worked with children and worked with teens for like 8 years, and I've seen some of the relationships that they've had with their parents, and it's just so sad. And you can see why so many kids, and not necessarily kids on the spectrum or anything like that, quite able-bodied and able-minded children are damaged so much by poor parenting.
Oh, 100%. I've seen it.
I just want to say to you, I think you're fantastic. And your boys are very, very lucky to have you.
Thank you so much.
And I really mean that. So, guys, let's move on. Let's have a bit of a break, and
Yes.
then I want to move on to let's make us a bit smaller. Zena, you're welcome to stay if you
Oh,
want
thank
to
you.
stay and give your bit. I don't mind. But the thing that we're going to be covering next is this. I'll just give you a bit of a taster before we go into the break. Right, okay. Our young lady covered
Oh,
this.
yes.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Grizz,
thought,
where you at,
you know
girl?
what? I don't know. Oh, well, she's got school, hasn't she? She did say to me
Yeah, she's
she might not be able
studying.
to make it. But she'll watch the replay. Oh, right. Before the break, I just wanted to sort of go on, and as we've we've gone off the subject, but I wanted to address this, which is what hang on one sec. I need to get it up on here. This is what
Excuse me.
Monty said to me,
Oh, no.
which, and I did bring it up, I think last Friday, but I couldn't find it. Hang on one second. Let's just get rid of
I think I'm
that.
blocked. I think I've tried commenting, and I've not seen him for a while, actually. I
Yeah.
saw that last video. That was about it.
I go in for research purposes only.
Are you
Right.
still
Okay.
blocked, Jan?
I don't know. I don't care.
Okay. Because if you are, then I'll start a
Oh, so
petition or
you'll speak
something
up
in
about
chat.
this, Edna? You'll speak up about this, about Jan
Well,
being
I
blocked?
will speak up about Jan being blocked. I don't agree with that.
Listen, I don't need to be in there. I can watch what I need to watch, and yeah. Anyway, so this is what I wanted to just read.
Oh, I'm blind.
And it was forgotten what came before this. It was after the last video I did about him. So he put, you will be getting the proper retribution after doing your BS spinning the story of YOMAMA wanting to punch Shannon's teeth out into some idiot shit. Do you know what? I don't have a clue what he's talking about. I would
Well, I
never,
remember that.
if I believed, honestly, if I believed that YOMAMA meant that he wanted to punch Shannon's teeth, I would have said something. You know me. I don't condone violence in any shape or form, especially when it's a man against a woman. So here's Monty reaching as far as he can. Now, the thing is, he can't just say that. He's then got to go on and say, and then he came clean Thursday about the situation. I'll be going over your spin of the story very soon, you piece of shite.
Out of line,
And
Monty.
I
Let's not
thought,
call Jan a POS.
how dare he speak to me like that? I've done nothing to this man. So anyway, I wrote back, I look forward to it. Paint your narrative any way you can. As a fellow Jamaican, I am utterly disgusted at your lack of respect for your elders. Our ancestors and parents would be devastated that you feel this is the way to portray yourself on such a public platform. Maybe you need a trip to the motherland to remind yourself of the foundations and fundamental essentials to make us caring, respected Jamaican human beings. They fought hard for us. Once again, I say, shame on you. And I mean, just looking back at the way he spoke to me again there, I was like, I can't believe this man is a Jamaican man. I'm sorry. I just cannot believe it.
And he seems to have moved around as well. Like, he's not just, come from like somewhere. He's lived all around. He's lived in America, he lived in New York. So he's seen like, pretty some harsh brutalities in terms of vocalizing. They're not the kind, not kind, I don't want to say that, but it's harsh reality living in, somewhere like, I think he lived in the Bronx as well, I'm sure he said. Like, a harsh area that you have to have your guard about you. So I don't know. like I said, I think he just follows people's
What do
narratives.
you
I
mean,
really do.
Zena?
Do you know what he just gives? He just gives us, right, such a bad. Right, I'm going to say this, right. He gives Jamaicans a very bad name. Okay, you don't talk to people like that. You don't talk to your elders like that. I was probably the same age. I'm probably the same age as his mother. Okay, and to speak to me like that, I just will not accept it.
No. No, I
Um,
get it. I think what I meant by that, Edna, was saying that, you know, like the most slightest comments are that, you know, if you live in a place where you have to have your guard up, you're gonna hear and see things that, you know, that you have to protect yourself over. So little tiny comments to trigger him as much as they do shouldn't do. Because of I'm sure he said he's lived in, you know, quite harsh places before.
mm,
So that's
Oh,
what
I
I'm
see what
saying.
you
That's what
mean.
I mean. I don't mean it in a like a negative thing, but I'm saying for living in not known as to be harsh places, like where I live, like council houses, they're
But
just
I just
known to
feel like
have. Yeah,
that's the
sorry.
arena. Like everybody like kind of gets in the mud.
Yeah.
So it's not
yeah, but
surprising. I
I
don't know.
don't
I just
believe
kind of
in
feel
that.
like,
I don't
yeah.
believe in that. It's like when they say, "Oh well, you know, we're all as bad as each other." No, we're not. Some
There's
of us
tit for
have,
tat, like you were saying, tit for tat.
yeah,
It can be on a micro level, like, you know, you
mhm,
smell a piss or you stink like shit. That's probably tit for tat, but not to the point when you're
Mhm.
literally calling someone a PDF and
yeah.
or, you know, a groomer or whatever. There's lines
Well,
everywhere.
I spoke to him on a different level there, and he didn't
No,
come back.
yeah.
He didn't say anything
He didn't
back.
with me though,
No.
and I think that's the thing. He gets easily intimidated, so he stops because all he can do is basically call you a piece of shit.
Well said, Capone. People are playing in the mud. He's slinging rocks.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Hi, Sasha. How are you, sweetie? I hope you're well. So, yeah,
Mm.
you know, as you can tell, I got really angry at that. And it's like last night I had like a what do you call it? A FaceTime with 3 of my brothers and my sister. And 3 of them are in the States and the other one's in over here. But guess what? Not one of us dropped the N-word. And that's
No.
another reason why I will never ever speak to those hyenas. Let me
Mm.
just say.
I think that's a different thing as well. It's a different culture thing as well. You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
Mhm.
I personally don't. I mean, the black people around here, I don't hear them approach each other saying that
No,
word. I think
no.
it is very much a cultural thing as well, and we're just not used to it. So, but obviously, in the space that we're in, it's heavily from Northern America that we just have to kind of, okay, that's what they say, and you know, like for us,
Yeah,
like
older
the
black
term
people
gyps,
say it
like
here.
yeah, like the term
Like,
gypsy,
I was
or
on the
like to
bus stop and I
use.
heard men talking. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't
sorry.
Yeah,
mean to
I
talk over
think
you.
I just think that's
Sorry,
disgusting.
Zena, go
I'm
ahead.
No,
sorry.
no, 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 it's fine. I'm just saying how it's different. Again, like
Yeah.
the term gypsies over here isn't meant as a derogatory thing at all. It's like that is what they call themselves. There's the boxer who's a super weight heavy champion of the world, Tyson Fury, who calls himself the
Mhm.
Gypsy King. It's not known as a derogatory, but yeah,
And I thought
in
it was because I heard, yeah.
no, it's not.
So,
Well,
I
to be
mean,
No.
honest,
that's
it's
the
not.
thing. Different people feel differently about it. So, I
Yeah.
that's why it's like,
I
when Monty said the POS, when he felt like his life was being put on a literal piece of shit, he felt some kind
And
of way
I can
about it. Like,
understand
I
that.
get
I
it.
can understand that.
Yeah.
That's why I never spoke up about it, because even though I have my own personal feelings, again, I can see the logic behind it. I didn't think it was a reach, but the bauble thing, I feel, is absolutely a reach.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Gia, Tyson Fury literally lives around the corner from me. Just thought I'd say that.
Okay. Stop showing off. Stop
Well, he
showing
is.
off,
Well, I'm
Zena.
actually, honestly, like, because they're we're kind of, you know, what's it called? Is it the 7 degrees of separation?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're
Mhm.
kind of I am kind of related to his family because my family comes from Romany travelers as well and known as the
Okay.
Greys. And if you've ever watched Peaky Blinders, There's the
couldn't get
greys.
into that. I couldn't get into that.
Oh no, well I'm saying their thing is the greys, the popular
Yeah.
gypsy things is the greys, and that's where I come from, like down the line. And so does
Yeah.
Tyson Fury's lot. So we could be like 5th, 6th cousins, something like that. But he
Yeah.
literally lives around the corner from me anyway.
Good for
His
you,
family does.
girlie.
Yeah.
Right, we're
Yeah.
gonna have a break and then we're gonna move on to Yo Mama. And yes, I know he says the N-word. And it took me a while to get used to hearing it because it's not a word that we hear over here. Maybe because of the circles I've moved in, but you know, I've moved in many different circles before I was an old codger. And it's just not a word that I've heard. Now,
Yeah.
people are probably going to say, oh, it's a class thing, it's this and that. I don't care what you say, we just don't use it. And yeah, Yo Mama does use it.
But the thing, Jen, if you're in white spaces, I wouldn't expect you to hear the word.
That's true.
No, yeah.
That's true. But then maybe I'll ask my daughter because she's not in black spaces. I mean, she's quite often in black spaces. Or she used to be. She's not so much now. So I'll tolerate it from people I like. I tolerate it from Yo Mama.
I think it's how it's said.
It's the way he speaks. I accept that people lead different lives, and I recognize that there are parts of American society, maybe there are Brits, I don't know, but I'm talking about Yo Mama specifically. I believe that where he comes from and how he was raised, that was an acceptable word amongst the blacks.
Do you think it's
When
all about
I was out
sentence
in
placement?
California, it wasn't even just amongst the blacks. They people called like younger people called themselves that freely. And it was a lot of like Asian kids, like Filipino or so. Like it was like, are you kidding me? But that was just the culture.
That's
Do you
it.
think
And
it's how it's used though? I'm talking like
Yes.
sentence placement and like within the syntax, and if you use it
Well,
as
yeah,
he
but
seems
some
to use
people
it as a
don't
filler
care
word,
how
doesn't
you
he?
use it. It's just the fact. Yeah, but that's the
it's
thing is,
just
if some people don't care how you use it, it's just the fact that you use it.
Yeah,
I think
true.
it's just his vernacular, and I
Yeah.
think it would be wrong for me to say, "Oh, yeah, Mummy, you shouldn't be using it," because I get offended by it. If I got offended by it, then I shouldn't watch it. Plain and simple. That's the way because it's not for me to say, well, never mind how you were brought up and how all your friends were brought up, and that's in your language, in your vocabulary. I think it's wrong. That's wrong for me to say that. So I don't say
I don't
it.
know because didn't we do that with the B word with women in this community? Everybody
See,
was
I
like,
hear
"Oh,
that all. I did not think that right. I really did not think that was
Listen, how often do we say that word?
all the time.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you call your friend a bitch over
Yeah,
here. It doesn't
exactly.
mean
Yeah,
anything.
yeah,
You'll say, "Oh, you
exactly.
silly bitch." Do you know what I mean? It
Yes.
means nothing over here.
Or like you stupid cow, or we say all sorts. We insult each other as a form of what's the word?
Endearment.
Yes, exactly. All the time. And yeah, all the time. So that to me threw me because I thought, what's another B word that I don't know? But when I found out it was bitch, I thought, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. It's like I was like, "What?"
Very tame. Very, very
Right.
tame.
So Lucy Lou says, "I guess I misunderstood. I thought you didn't like the usage of the word at all." Do you know what I said was it took me a while to get used to it. But no, I don't mind I don't mind the way Yo Mama uses it. I think there are times when he doesn't need to use it. Like, I know it sounds silly, but it's like if he's talking about a white guy, like if he's talking about,
Yeah.
say, garlic bread or something, he's still calling him the N-word, and I'm like, "Oh."
That's what Callie did, if you
Callie, that's
remember,
the
when
Don't
point
Callie
to
was
try
coming
to take the
after
sting out
Shane,
of
yeah.
it, right?
Say that again?
I said, isn't the point to take the sting out of it? Like it doesn't just refer to black people if you use it with everybody?
But
Maybe.
again,
I was gonna say part of the
yeah, I'd
point.
understand that. But again, if you're saying that to people who aren't educated or don't know, if
Mm,
you know, because not the thing is, I think as well that everyone's expected to know the word. Obviously, when you're growing up, you know, so say if children, you know, they're in, you know, in school and stuff, and they hear that word, they think it's appropriate, or hear it in songs, they think it's
yeah.
appropriate to say, right? So if a black
Mm,
person is saying it to a white person, I'm talking about younger here, they're not
yeah.
to know. They just think, oh, it's a new insult word that I've learned. They don't realize the connotations from it. So I think, yeah, I think it needs to be used correctly and probably to each other rather than to white people, because white people will believe that they can suddenly say it, because then the whole argument is like, well, why can you say it and I can't? And then obviously
Yeah,
that's when the
and
historical has to come about and
that's
so
what
on and so
happened to
forth.
Yeah.
Timber. Because
Yes.
she's around black people who allow her to say it. So when she felt freely saying it on air, it was kind of like, oh, oops, I guess I can't say
But a
it.
lot of people
But
didn't think that she was a person of color, though, like black, meaning black. Her vernacular
I
was
just
very much
thought it was weird
ASEA.
that she thought it was okay to call her own son it, and I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
But I think, you know, being Brit, so Zena, I think we do have a different connotation of the word, and
100%.
you know, it did, you know, it does take me a while to use it, and there are some people that use it that I think they do sound offensive using it,
Mm,
but then I
hmm
think, okay, they've had a completely different upbringing to me, you
yeah, I
know.
don't think I ever heard that word until I heard it like in songs and stuff, and I still didn't
Mm,
quite understand. And I think it was literally the Jay-Z and Kanye West song, you know, and in Paris. That's what it
Oh
was
mhm,
yeah,
called.
classic.
And
yeah,
yeah, and you know, then obviously find out like you're not supposed to say that word. And I like I'd watch like Eddie Murphy movies and I'd see it, you know, I'd hear it in them, and I just didn't think anything of it because the way it was said was just like a
yeah.
matter of fact. And it wasn't until you get older and you get educated quickly. And you know, in this day and age, if you're not aware of it, that's what I worry about my son. Like I said, he's easily manipulated, and if he heard that
Yeah.
word and think it's appropriate, you know, he's going to get his head kicked in. It's not it's not right.
Yeah, and the thing is also, I mean, I don't know if you saw the Big Brother. I don't know if you're a Big Brother fan,
Oh, I
Zena.
used to watch it,
But do
but
you
I'm like,
remember back in the day, years ago, when this girl came on? I think she was a Londoner, and she was
mm-hmm.
really down with everybody, and she hadn't even been in there like 10 hours, and they
Oh
went
God.
outside to have a cigarette, and she went striding across the green and said, "You all right then, Mai?" And then she
Oh
used the N-word.
no.
She was out of there like a
Oh no.
But
I
I
don't
kind
remember
of
that.
understood that because
Mm,
I was working in schools, and I'm not saying that if I'd have heard it in the school I worked in, then I would have, you know, had a
oh
word with
yeah.
them.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually felt sorry for her. She was white, by the way, but I felt sorry for her because I thought that's obviously the culture she's been brought up in. She might have been brought up in Brixton or Bristol or
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how she spoke to her friends. But I mean, that girl didn't even last in there 24 hours and she was out. And I
Wow.
actually felt a bit sorry for her. Let's just say that Lucy says, for me, it's how the word is used. Yes. And
Yeah,
when you're
exactly.
saying it, when I find it offensive or not. Exactly. I don't, yeah. I mean, and to be honest, I don't really find it offensive when YOMAMA says it because he's, you know, he just says it over and over again. But I do feel that he says it too often sometimes. But
Yeah.
then I think I would say that if he was, say, using the F word all the time, I'd be like, oh, give it a break. You know, you don't have to say the word, you know, every time you open
And
your mouth.
if you notice again, it's when people are in certain situations again with different emotions. So you can see when he's just talking, it doesn't come in, like his laugh doesn't come in. But when he's obviously being animated and getting more emotional, that's when he uses it as filler, a bit like Monty when he calls everyone a piece of shit over and
Yeah.
over and over again. And I think that's just his fallback word. Like I said, a filler word. He seems to very much use it rather than saying effing this, like us, we're effing this and effing that after, you know,
Okay.
every single word. He kind of
Yeah.
uses it as a filler quite a lot. And then obviously it's like, oh, this is a bit too much, this. And I think it's just in that respect. But the topic that you are talking about, I mean, that was very interesting. The that stream about milk tea.
Yeah,
I was quite shocked with that.
We're going to go over that. No, I am not a Liverpool supporter. I'll let you into a secret. I used to support, back in the day, I'm mad on football, okay? I used to play for a football team, a women's football team. My team was Chelsea. I was a Blues through and through. Loved me my Chelsea.
Not West Ham. West Ham.
What, you like West Ham?
Do I act? I'm saying, do you like West Ham?
No. Chelsea and West Ham are rivals. You kidding me?
That's what I mean. That's what I said.
I mean, back in the day, all the London teams used to fight like, you know,
yeah, like City and
animals.
United.
They were terrible. But yeah, no, I used to be like a Chelsea supporter through and through. But all my family, since I've had kids, they all support Arsenal, which was Chelsea's biggest rival. So now I don't support Chelsea anymore. I show an interest in Arsenal because I like the game. But football, listen, I could talk to you about football because I love it. But football is not the same as it used to be back in the day. That's all I can say. It's completely.
I agree.
It's all about money. Right. Let's have a break and then we'll come back. All right.
Okay.
Go grab yourself a quick cup of tea and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Okie dokie. Had to run and get me some more Pepsi. Right, we are going to move on now. We are going to move on and discuss. Looks like it's going to be a long one tonight, guys. We're going to discuss this because I'm glad you've watched it, Xena. I don't know whether. Yeah. Did you manage to watch it? What's your name?
Yes, I did.
Actually, before we get into it, right, we need to do this. Okay, bear with me. I'm so organized. You'll love this, guys.
Oh, I need this. Oh, so cute. That's super cute.
Oh, look at this. Oh, I love the staircase man.
Build it up with sticks and stones, sticks and stones, sticks and stones. Build it up with sticks and stones, my fair lady.
How cute is that?
Adorable.
So we're going to have that as the backdrop. We're still in the corner there, which is great. And we'll get bridge back on there. Okay. Are we happy with it like that? Right, let's turn that off. Let's move on. So if we play it to begin with, and then we'll stop and discuss. Edna, did you see it, by the way?
Yes, I did.
Okay, good. All right, let's start then, guys.
Maybe she's changed. Let's see. here is my girl, Milk Tea. Now I want to say this about these hater channels.
I would never, like back in the day, I would never say that Milk Tea is a hater channel.
Yesterday,
No.
Beauty decided she wanted to cook. No big deal. She put on a cooking outfit and she made some chicken, right? And the criticism, and I want y'all to see this. Watch her face. Watch her reaction of Beauty cooking. Tell me this is not just a straight up hater. Watch this. Roll it.
But I do remember when she started, man, she didn't seem to want to be there. But let's get into it and we'll see what we think.
Go
You'll
ahead.
be pleased to know I've cut out the ad.
Okay. What do we think, girls? Do we think that Yo Mama went too far in attacking?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Too far, especially when he turns around and calls her a horrible human being.
I
Way
know.
too far for what she does.
Yeah.
Way too far.
I know. I'm gonna put
my
us.
opinion.
I'm gonna put them there so that we can see all my work as well. Yeah, I have to say.
Yeah, and I think it's funny. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, go on. Go on.
No, I just feel like it's funny because we always critique Mama for not doing his homework, but this is just another example of him kind of speaking out the side of his neck. Like he didn't really know what he was talking about, and he was going way too hard.
Yeah. I mean, when I watched it, I was like, Jesus, seriously? I mean, there's so many things that I wanted to say, and perhaps I should just say it. Yo Mama is always saying that he listens to people, and he has actually said that he listens to me. Okay. Now,
Mhm.
what happens? What happens in this video is that he didn't want to listen to me. He didn't want to listen to me saying to him that his bias is showing. I couldn't help myself, guys. I just couldn't help myself. So he does address that. We'll get to that in a minute. But so we're all in accordance here. We all believe that
Yeah.
he shouldn't have gone to
Way too far. To me, it seems like he briefly watched her and straight away got a vibe that he just didn't like her. I
Yeah.
think he might not like her, how she comes over as almost being snobby. Again, I think that because he said before how he would never come to Britain. He said it before. And I think because she comes over as, well-spoken, well-to-do, he just straight away thinks that it's almost like an elitist thing, that as if she's looking down at Foodie. That's the impression that I got.
Yeah. Okay, let me just address some of the people in the chat because they're taking the time to comment, so I should. I'm not going to click on all of them because there's too many of them for a change. So now, is it Jarella? I hope I pronounced that right. Now, Jarella said he's paid by Chantel, so I don't believe he is paid by her. I believe that Yo Mama came in as devil's advocate. That's what I think. What do you girls think? I honestly
He does seem to
believe.
have a soft spot for her. That's kind of undeniable. Because sometimes I'm feeling like I don't know. I mean, I
He
don't
did
think
say
he's
last
being
night in his
paid.
stream that he just didn't like what Foodie does, like with the eating thing. He was like, "That's disgusting." So I think he does.
Oh,
He
did
will.
he?
Yeah, he did. He said that. Like it was
Okay.
when he was away and she was doing a mukbang. He was reacting to FFG, but he was just reacting to Foodie as well and was saying that a mukbanging is disgusting and she needs to stop. It is vile and it's not attractive. He did say that kind of stuff, to be fair.
Yeah, he
Oh,
did.
okay.
He did, and he said, he couldn't understand why she
Yeah.
does that.
Mhm.
And I think the problem is, and I hate to keep saying it, but the problem is, Yo Mama doesn't know the law. He doesn't. He doesn't know what's happened in the past with Foodie.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it in a hateful way. I love me some Yo Mama, but having said that, I can't listen to him singing her praises every time I
Yeah.
go to his stream. I just can't do it anymore, guys. And that's a shame because I did see him as, you know, someone who was different, somebody who came in with a bit of energy and, you know, all right, he laughed too much and all the rest of it. But for him to, and you know, I did look at it and I thought, has he just come in as like devil's advocate? He can see that nobody likes this fat bird. So
No.
he's just gonna come in and you know, put a different spin on things. But I do believe he's gone too far in that way.
I
Uh,
think what he did, what was more pinnacle about this particular stream more than anything, and I've said this before, and this is what I said was quite shocking, was that everything that he accuses and criticizes FFG for, he did exactly the same to Milk Tea. And even
yeah.
with his chart, you know, they say about the zombies in the chart, they were very much emulating the same. And then again, when someone like yourself, Jan, that put your biases showing, how
Mhm.
did he react to you? The same way when FFG reacts to people that counteracts her. And again, your mama said, oh, see, no one can go against FFG. He displayed the exact same thing that he always criticizes. And I think that's why I hope that he just took a step back and looked how his behavior was. Because it was he might as well have been FFG's twin on that stream. He was exactly the
Yeah,
same.
but it's tough
Yeah.
not to get it's tough not to have a hug box. It's like, how do
Yeah.
you prevent that, or how do you
I
avoid
don't
it?
have a hug box. I don't have a hug box.
Ag-
I
Again, it's
try
letting people in and having that discussion of having opinions and not being again depicted of that you're aligning with them just because that you're in the chat. And you know, your mama could have replied back to Jan in a far better way, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah. I mean, do you know, I like the guy, and
Yeah, me
I
too.
almost sent him an email, not an email, a DM to say, "Have I done something to you?" Because I thought
Mm.
immediately that's the way I am, right? I thought, "Oh shit, I've done something wrong." You know, he's come for me because I've done something wrong. And then I thought, what are you doing, Jan? You
Mm.
know, he's obviously I don't know. I just feel, yeah, I could have taken it and been upset about what he said, but then what's the point? You know, it's like if anyone says anything bad about me, I just think, oh well, you know, that's your choice. You know, if you feel that about me, then there's nothing I can do to make you to make you see me in a different way. So when he was saying those things and he kept going on, yeah, well, the thing is, Jan's this and you, Jan's that, and this, and that. And I was like, okay, come up on my
It just seemed
panel.
out of character for him.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what April's just put of saying, I think your mama was not in a good space that night. And that's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
why I felt that everything that he, you know, because even with Just Breezy sometimes can like go a little bit too far, but I think he can just about,
Mhm.
like, I was dying laughing, I'm not gonna lie, I was dying laughing at the oh, when she had a haircut and he was mimicking of her going on the scooter, you know, doing the vroom, vroom. Oh my god, I was in fits of laughter.
Mhm.
Well,
Because that's
and the
just funny.
thing
That
is,
is
I'm probably
satire.
gonna be her on the scooter one of these days. It's like,
Oh, I was dying when he said that she was just going to go over and cause a load of shit on the scooter. I was just, and every time I see someone on a scooter now, I just think of Just Breezy on the scooter.
The thing is,
it's hilarious, but at the same time, it's like, how
Yeah,
what else are you gonna do? It's like the thing is just for the environment. Maybe you just you don't always want to have to drive, so scooter
no.
be a respectable, decent
No,
way
it's
to
just
get around.
it's just the way that how she has this kind of authority and superiority, as if she's like this
yeah.
big badass, but then she's just on this little scooter and can't even like maneuver it
Yeah,
very well. It's just funny, isn't it?
Yeah.
yeah, it's hilarious.
I think what Sasha said. Oh, let's see if I can find it. I don't think I can. Oh no, no one special said. Sorry, darling. If Yo Mama's chat was a hug box, I wouldn't be there. Do you know? And I feel the same way. I don't think he's got a hug box. I think he doesn't look at his chat enough to have
Well,
a hug
exactly. He
box.
doesn't. He doesn't.
for one thing. And it's all well and good saying, I mean, I go in different communities, and in some communities, they do a live stream and never look at chat. So it's not
Right.
even that it's that. I think it's that. I think, Zena, you made a good point when you said about he just goes on and on and on. And I think that might be part of the issue.
Yeah.
It's like I've said before, listen, I don't particularly like FFG, and you know, I've heard things about her that have made me think, oh, you know, no, I don't like you. I've also seen the way she is with Shannon. I just don't think she's a nice person, particularly. But I don't like the way he goes for women all the time. Now, don't take from that, oh, Jan thinks that YOMAMA's misogynistic. No, I don't think that. What I mean is when somebody continuously goes after somebody else, there comes a point where you think, okay, we know you don't like that person, move on, you know, move on to somebody else, or move on to something else.
No, I get it.
But I think in
Yeah,
this,
that's fair enough. Yeah.
I think in this community, it's very, people are very quick to jump onto to people and to label them, and there are some people that won't be labeled, and like myself and Bridget, and also I thought YOMAMA, but I think YOMAMA runs the risk, because I've seen it so many times now. YOMAMA does run the risk of being called, you know, somebody who's in Foodie's back pocket, you know, because he just goes on and on and on.
No, I agree.
Right, so let's play a bit more of Bridge.
Oh, welcome back to another video, guys. Today I'm in my kitchen, and we're finally going to be cooking something here. So I'm cooking something for you.
Oh yeah, she will bore me to tears. She's trash.
That's
She's
my
absolutely garbage.
Right, okay, so he's sat here, right, and he's called this young lady trash and complete garbage. No, that's wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And I would say that to him. That's wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
She's not trash. She's not garbage.
Oh, here he is. YOMAMA's in the chat.
So I just don't. Oh, hello.
Oh,
hey,
hi.
mister. You going to come up? You can come up, darling. I don't mind.
Oh, I hope he's not going.
No, he'll be fine. I don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, it's no big deal, Zena.
You've been
all
sat
right.
there while I've been
Mama's
telling
cool.
you off for being a naughty boy.
Have you
That's
got your
what I
finger
think.
out? I can imagine you having your finger out, wagging it as you're saying it to him.
I can't
You
help
sit
it.
down in that corner. Sit down in
Once
that
the
corner.
teacher,
Sit there.
always the teacher. Do you know what I mean? It's
Sit
like,
fucking down on that corner. Shut the fuck up.
I
Fucking get
can't
out.
You know what,
help it.
Jan? I was an instructor. Like of course I taught like class tax class. And I hated it. Like I don't think I ever want to do it
I could
again.
never be a teacher. Ever.
Oh, I love it. I love.
So
I used to
thank
be a
you for your
tutor
service.
as
'Cause we need
well.
educators.
I used to be a tutor as well.
Mhm.
So, and I prefer that. I prefer working one-on-one, because you can sit down and, you know, you can talk to them. You can talk.
Right.
You know what I mean? Whereas if you're in charge of a whole bunch of kids, it's difficult. You know, you've got to make sure that you're not missing anyone out. And
And Jan, could you imagine? I was teaching adults and they were coming in late and they wanted me to excuse them and different things. I'm like,
how
I
the
worked
hell
at
did you
special
manage
needs.
that?
I worked at special needs, but
Okay.
they had PMLD, so there was no speaking involved. So well, from them. So that was
Bless
you know,
them.
it was great overall. Well, we didn't annoy each other, but I can't work with kids. It's annoying. Oh, what's your thumbnail?
welcome, YOMAMA.
Hey, your mama.
I
How
made
are you,
Drama
sweetheart?
Friday. I made
Here's
it.
You made
Oh.
it.
I made it.
Just when I'm having a go at you.
I know. I know.
Are you
Drama Friday.
coming in from Florida?
No, I'm in Toronto right now.
Oh, Monty.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you
Go
meeting
visit
with
Monty.
Monty?
we're gonna go teabagging each other.
Oh my god.
You got
We're
the
gonna have a
baby
tea
cream
off.
already.
We're gonna have a
Okay,
tea off.
I know you've probably not got much time to talk. So, have you heard what I've been saying so far?
No, I just got in. I saw, and I just got in right now, and I just saw the part where I got to where you said that I'm in Foodie, I might be in Foodie Beauty, I'm close to being in Foodie Beauty's back pocket. And
we didn't say that though. It was we were saying against that. We don't think that you are being paid by her.
Yeah, no, and then I got to the part where you said that where I said I didn't like Foodie Beauty eating, and I called her out for that.
Oh yeah, you did. Yeah.
So yeah, that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, I heard you say about milk and tea, like she's not bad. I didn't criticize Bridget's video. I mean, it was good, but the thing that I just don't understand is what you just said, Jans, when you said I run the risk of always being FFG channel. Like I talk about FFG a lot, but I don't see why nobody goes over there to Milk and Tea's channel, and you can see that she did 40 videos of Foodie Beauty in a month, and nobody else. That's why I call her garbage. She doesn't change the subject. She doesn't switch it up. She only stays on one person. Me, I might talk about FFG, but the next day I might have a different subject. I might be talking about Hussy. I might be talking about Negs. I might be talking about this person. And I respect those channels. I respect the channels like Jan's, like she does a Friday. You don't know what she's talking about on Friday drama, or Wednesday, and she don't know what she's talking about. Same thing with Farida and you. Y'all switch it up. I don't like the channels that stay on the same person every day. That's why I call Milk and Tea garbage, because she stays on Foodie every day. Like I don't find that entertaining. I don't find that fun. I find that bullying, to be honest. And you might say it. You might say, "Hey, Foodie Beauty had this history." Facts. And I've criticized before, but it only takes me. I only need like 1 or 2 times or 3 times to mention it, and I'm on to the next. They talk about it every day. That right there is like somebody going to school and you know they're a piece of shit, but you just tease them every day. At some point, you become the villain. You know, you turn into the person that you're criticizing. You don't have to talk about the person every day. That just doesn't make any sense to me. But that's my.
No, that's a fair point.
No, it is a fair point. She has said before that she is predominantly a foodie channel. That she has said that before, but I do understand that. That's why me and Frida are like, we don't want to be, catered to doing the same thing over and over again. But my only issue is that, like, I've watched your channel for God knows how long. It seemed quite venomous from you, when usually you're quite, you'd very much joke about, but it seemed quite venomous, saying how she was like a disgusting human being, and then just attacking her wig, and it was just everything that you criticized FFG for. It seemed that was coming over, and the chat was very much being like zombies as well, which I know you're not in control of, but it just was out of character for you. That was all.
It's like when I see somebody, it's like, seriously, I'm just not that type of person. When I see somebody, just and like Jan says, yes, Beauty got the worst history of anybody, and that's a factor. Like, yeah, I criticize that and I talk shit about that, but I gotta say that I'm not the type of person, if it's not happening now, if somebody is trying to change their life in a little bit of way or whatever kind of way, they're not.
Oh, I think you're breaking up here, Mama.
We lost you. We may have lost you. I think I do understand what you're saying, Mama.
See, I get what he's saying too, and I felt like, oh, is he back?
Huh?
No.
Yeah,
I felt like I was feeling like that too. But when it comes to Foodie, like with the new cat, right? We saw the way she treated the other cats and just neglected them to the point of abuse. Now we see that she's starting to do the same thing by not getting Julia spayed. And
Is that what she's doing?
and putting her, and it's like she's perpetuating the same cycles. It's like like, when do we say something? Like, If we don't keep saying, she's just keeping it going.
But no, I think a lot of the things that Foodie does is for clicks, though. I think a lot
Mhm.
of the things he does is to rile you guys up and get you guys all going. I mean, the lies that she's told in the past about having sex with a homeless guy on a rock, somebody shitting in somebody's bathroom while they were sleeping because they didn't want to have a threesome with them. I mean, everybody says that she's a liar, and I agree with you 100%. She's a liar. And she does it to get attention. And you guys do give her the everyday attention, which I find that it's like, why are you guys keep on? If you guys just be like, you know what, cool, do your own thing in Kuwait. We just gonna do our own thing. We gonna talk about you. I don't mind. Hey, Foodie Beauty's a subject today if she does something interesting, and then move on to somebody else. But if Foodie Beauty is just sitting there eating fucking Taco Bell, that is not fucking
I think the
CNN
thing is,
news.
people started really reacting to it. It was during, obviously, there was the pandemic, you know, there was everything that was happening with Nada, and literally every moment of the day was something different. She'd say something. It was literally watching like a series. Everyone was tuned in, right? But then now, again, obviously, people are still carrying on thinking it's the same dynamic when it's not. And that's what I mean. What I agree with you, where literally she's not doing anything wrong right now. I mean, obviously, there's bits that you just said about the cat, but really, as an everyday occurrence, she's just sat there and mukbanging and talking boring crap. So what is there to react to? There's nothing. So you have to find the most tiniest irrelevant things, and it becomes asinine and boring. And I do agree with that. That's why me and Frida just don't cover Foodie, because why? She's just sat eating, filling a face full of crap.
Can I ask you a question, YOMAMA? Was I right in saying that you've come, you know, one of the reasons you speak so much about Foodie is because originally you came on as a devil's advocate. You know, you didn't want to just come across as being a hater, and I can understand that because I don't want to be seen as a hater either.
Right.
You know, so I do understand that.
I actually came on. When I came on, I said this like 100 times, and everybody in the chat and everybody messaged me. I said, I am not covering Foodie Beauty. I'm talking about garlic bread. I'm talking about Jessica Messica, and I'm talking about Just Breezing. I am not covering Foodie Beauty. She's boring. She's not interesting. I don't like it. I'm not interested in it. Blah, blah, blah. And then I kept getting, okay, you're so good, blah, blah, blah. Okay, cover this, cover that. And I'll be like, nah, I'm still on Just Breezing and Jessica Messica. And then when I got trashed by FFG, that's when I was like, okay. And that's when I did that exposed FFG video. And then after that, everybody was all excited about that. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna do the Yaba thing. But I didn't go hard at Yaba. I went really nice on Yaba. And a lot of, remember, Negs and DC were all like, oh, he's gonna go at Yaba. But I was really nice to Yaba, and then they turned on me, right? And then Yaba came on my stream, and I had a whole interview with her and all that other stuff like that. But it was like the whole time for like a cool 5 months when I was over here, I didn't even speak on Foodie Beauty. But it was just like when I started talking about these other creators like Yaba, FFG, the DC, the Negs thing, and all this other stuff, that's when it just kind of like, I just kind of merged in the lane of Foodie Beauty. You know what I mean? But I said I never wanted to talk about her because I don't find her interesting. She's not interesting for me. She's boring.
Because it's all girl world adjacent stuff. That's what we're like. It's like she's like the pinnacle of it, and it's everything around it. That's what me and Frida are interested in as well. It's all about. I don't watch Foodie. I can't remember a time when I've actually raw dogged her. I'm always interested in the people that speak about her. Always have been.
And that is me. I find the reactors 10 times more entertaining.
Me too.
I stay
Absolutely.
talking about the reactors. I like talking about the reactors, but the reactors are, when I'm talking about them in my videos, they're reacting to Foodie Beauty. So it's kind of like
exactly.
I'm like stuck in like, I don't want to talk about her, but I'm watching the reactor talk about her, you know, and I'm talking about the reactor. So I have to kind of mention her, you know. It's kind of that's where I'm stuck, you know.
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Do you feel that you're sort of stuck in this foodie beauty void now because of the people you talk about, which are the reactors? I mean, that's one of the reasons I always said I would never react to her because I really dislike her, and I don't want to come across as being, a hate channel
Yeah,
who really dislike somebody. So I'm not going to talk about her, you know. And
right.
it's funny because when we first started doing this, Edna always wanted to talk about her, and I was like, I don't want to talk about her, Edna, because I get angry, you
I
know.
know.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
do
mean,
yeah.
it's just so fascinating to me the way she has this whole like community around her with Natter and how everyone's
I
spawning off
think
the
'cause she's been
word.
through so many things,
Yeah,
though. I mean, she's a great stepping stone for a lot of conversations we
Yeah.
got for different
yeah,
things. So I think that's, especially again, if you was to start a channel, people are familiar with you because of Girl World. You kind of have to have some kind of correlation with it, and I think that's the way to be able to, do different topics. But then it still comes back to the same vein of obviously Girl World, because again she's got many topics from mental health, from a physical, and then just relationships in general, just the crap that she says. There's so many avenues that you can go down with food, and I think that's why people stay interested because
Yeah.
of that reason.
Yeah.
and
And
I'm
it's got
sorry, I hate to say it, but she can be interesting. I
yeah.
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Oh
no.
yeah, yeah.
like watching
Like
people crack eggs for the first time was
Oh my god, no, I wouldn't
like
say that was interesting.
yeah.
it
No,
was, it was
I
yeah. Go
like
ahead, sorry,
like,
go ahead, your mama.
like I said, I find it if people just take her highlights or she does something interesting and then come on live or make a video or whatever, that would be cool. But like she's not interesting every day. And it's gotten so bad. And this is where I came in. I came in at the time where Foodie Beauty got so boring that the reactors started conspiracy theories. Like
Yeah.
they would be
Uh-huh.
like, oh my God, she got a ghost behind her. Oh my God, she's not married. Is she married? I'm not sure. Is she getting arrested in Kuwait? I came in at a time where
Mhm.
it was just like these conspiracy theories was just running wild. Nobody was reacting no more. Everybody had their own thoughts and their own like, hey, this is where it's going. This is going to be
Mhm.
the new arc. She's going to be back in Canada next week and she's going to stay. She's going to bring him with her. It was just so many. And it's like, okay, I thought you're just reacting to what she's doing. It's so boring where you got to create something that's not there. That's where it just like, I was just like, yo, this shit is, these
Yeah,
reactors are
that's
ridiculous.
way too far. And
Yeah,
I mean, and that's it's not fun at that point because you're creating a narrative. Like, let the story unfold.
exactly. Exactly. You don't watch a movie with a bunch of people and then scream out like, I think that the killer's next door. And then people are like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then the killer's not next door. And then they'll be like, oh, well, but he might be across the street and he's not across the street. And they don't even come back on to be like, okay, I fucked up. They'll just move on to the next theory, right? And that's what the thing that blows my mind. I'm like, dude, you just said that she was flying to Canada. Now she went live back in Kuwait. Are you gonna address that? Nope, we're just on to the next thing. It's like, what? Like,
So it's the conspiracies that irritate you as well then?
oh, that is what just made me just turn my into the apocalypse. Made me just go, wow. And then hearing all these people, and I find it interesting because it be the people, and I'm not talking about you guys, but it be like I think 80% of the people that cover Foodie Beauty got the worst fucking past criminal records, all that
No.
shit.
Listen, the way these court cases and these
I'm
allegations
like,
and things come out, it's
I know.
ridiculous.
It is crazy.
I'm
I
like,
mean,
y'all shouldn't be covering Foodie Beauty. Y'all should be covering Jeffrey Dahmer because y'all
right?
got y'all closer to that level than over here because these records that be coming out are crazy. Abuse, beating people,
I
hitting
know.
people, drunk driving, all this crazy stuff. And then they tried to give advice to Foodie like you got to live your life this way. And then you're like, yo, do you see your criminal record? Like,
I know. It's unbelievable to me. It really is. So I want to ask you a question. If you'd have been around when it was, say, when she was with Nada, you know, at that time, when she would continually argue, or sorry, continually lie to her viewership by saying, no, I'm not going to go and see him. You know, we're all finished and this, that, and the other. And then she'd drive on what she used to call the long road, which everyone knew meant that she was going to see Nada. Right now, if you'd have come in at that point, Mama, do you think you would have still felt the same way? Would you
I
have
would.
still gone for the others?
Foodie Beauty would have been my FFG, to be honest with you. I would have been going so hard and so crazy. Like watching
Yeah.
those old videos and those old mukbangs when she talked about taking food from this the skinny girl that was that
No.
hospital. Like I would have been going nuts. Like, to be honest with you, it would have been like yeah, and the Cuba raid shit when she said
Yeah.
that the bellboy wanted to have sex with her. Like I would have been, and, you know, I would have been on that like crazy, and I get it. Like it would have been that kind of shit would have been kind of an everyday thing because she was everyday. You didn't know what she was gonna say next, kind of thing, and it was fucking Jerry Springer. But it calmed down though. I mean, at some point you gotta kind of go,
But
okay.
listen, your mom, on one hand it's calmed down, but on the other hand she's turned it way up because now she's like parading around as a Muslim woman in a hijab and like
Yeah,
super hot
that's a
weather.
really good point
It's
because
a
that's one of the things that really irritates me about you, Mama, okay? Is when you keep defending situations that everybody else can see aren't true. Like, we know what she did. We know what she's doing.
But see,
Do you know what
that's
I
it.
mean?
Again,
And
what I
it's
just said,
annoying.
what I just said, Jans, is
Mm-hmm.
watching a movie and talking and getting in front of the movie. If you sit back and just watch it and let it unfold, out, that's dope. But when you say, I know that she's not married because of her past, I can't say that. I gotta go, okay, let me see this movie. Let me see if Salah dumps her in a couple of months, 5 months. Let me see if she goes back to Canada empty-handed without a man and changes her story. Let me see it. You know, the people, you guys gotta have patience. I'm a person of patience. If it ain't there, I'm not gonna be commenting on it. I'm not gonna say, okay, this is going to happen next. And I feel like she's this way in the past, so she's going to be. I don't know if I can't say if she took up the religion or not. I'm not there with her. I'm not in the whole thing with her. But but I got to let it unfold. If it comes to a point where tomorrow she's all of a sudden Christian, then we go, oh shit, you just jumped fucking religions. Like you were never Muslim. That's cool, but you got to let it unfold. And I know it's hard to do that, because a lot of people on YouTube don't got patience. It's all about okay,
nobody expecting it to last this long. Your mom, it's been a year.
then
That's
that means
crazy.
you gotta wait. You gotta find some other subject. Like me, I talk about this person, I talk about this person, I talk about that person. Because if I put all my eggs in a Foodie Beauty basket, I'm just not. It's just not it's not something I would enjoy doing. Because when I talked to Frida, she was just like, she was so stressed out about it when she talked to Skinny. She was just like, I don't want to talk about this woman no more. I'm done. I'm foodied out. I want to move on, you know?
Yeah.
And that's what and I can see that these reactors that are reacting to Foodie, they're just doing it as a job now. It's like forced. They're not having fun. They don't look like they're having fun. They look like they're just like, oh my God, I got a Foodie just go bell today. Like they don't, you know,
But we can see that though. We can see that, Mama. I think, the fact that you feel that you have to keep sort of saying it, I think is just gets a bit irritating for me anyway.
Yeah.
But I want to address Lucy Lou. That's not the way he sees it. Why can't people have other perspectives? Do you know what, Lucy Lou?
Yeah.
I'm not a hater. Yo Mama knows, I like him. I still like him. But I am going to call him out sometimes when I think he's been a naughty boy.
Yeah.
Jan, you're so naughty.
I said I don't defend Foodie. Like like she said, I criticized her in front of Salah. Salah was literally in my chat, and I told Salah, tell Foodie to stop eating that food. It's disgusting. It's nasty.
Yeah.
I'm a real ass person. Like if I
Mhm.
see something that's nasty and disgusting, I don't care if you're a fan of my channel, if you watch my stream, if your husband's in there, whatever. Most people wouldn't have said that in front of Salah, but I did. I told him, I said, yo, he was like, yo, what's up, yo, mama? How you doing, man? How's the vacation? I said, everything's good. But tell your wife to stop eating like that. It's disgusting. It's nasty. I don't find it funny. I don't find it good. I don't think it's entertaining. Move on to something else. I'm a real, if I was a kiss ass to Foodie Beauty, if I was an ass kisser, I would have just been like, oh, your wife is perfect. Everything she's doing is great. Keep up the good work. Now let me just stay on FFG. That's what I would have been on. But I'm a
Yeah,
real,
I've never thought you were like that though. And,
Yeah.
and that's
No.
why I liked you, because I can see that. And I do think you're a genuine guy. I really do. But it's nice to hear you actually saying how you feel and the
did.
way you look at things, because it makes it easier. Well, it makes it easier for me to understand you anyway. I don't know about the other girls, but
like I said, I can't watch that stuff. I told you I try to avoid Foodie Beauty as much as I can. I just try to stay on the reactors. I can't watch somebody eat like that. I said it's gluttony. It's nasty. I even said that YouTube should take it down. They should get rid of that stuff. That shit is nasty. It's not good for kids. Kids shouldn't be watching that. It's not anybody to
I'm
watch.
surprised she's still allowed to do it, Yo Mama.
I
really am.
said YouTube should take it down. I said
Yeah.
YouTube take care of this. I mean, I'm not a snitch. I don't hit up YouTube authorities, but I
No.
said YouTube should not be funding anything like that. That is nasty. It's disgusting.
Mhm.
It's just gross. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I got on YouTube. I told YouTube on Just Breezing for stealing Amber Lynn's content on TikTok because she was being lazy and she took Amber Lynn's TikTok videos and put it on her channel.
Yeah.
Thinking that she was slick with it. And I said, yo, I pointed it out. And Amber Lynn, I guess she saw it. She watches my show. So she was like,
That's lazy. That's just
Yeah.
lazy content,
come
you
on.
know.
Yeah.
Mhm.
People
on.
don't.
And that's what I mean. What a lot of people on this space are doing, which again, I'm on the same vein that I can't stand, where they're just acting like a monolith, where they literally just put on the video and have got no talking points. They might throw in, oh yeah, she's fat. Look how she wobbles. This and that. Whereas people that genuinely make an effort, whether that be through sounds, whether it be, because I know obviously you like to see people better in terms of reacting to them, Yo Mama, but even like people that have like soundboards or anything to make it somewhat entertaining makes it different. And that's what we try to do anyway. I know obviously we're very, very small, but just even having the edits that we do, and it just makes it different and transformative, at least, because these channels are not transformative whatsoever.
Can I just quickly address Lucy? I think that's out of line. You wouldn't like that the other way around. What are you talking about, darling? Was that something I said or something that one of the girls said?
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I say?
Did you see what I did here, Yo Mama?
I can't see. I can't see the
I
chat.
can't see. You've taken us off.
Yeah, I'm on StreamYard.
Oh,
thank you, Bone.
Are you talking about the graphic?
Yeah, so you can't see the wonderful graphics I've done. I think Yo Mama, that's also one of Yo Mama's pet peeves, because he always talks about people that don't edit and give something to their viewership.
Yeah, we did a boxing one, and I tell you what, the
editing
editing on that was mad. The editing that I had to do on that boxing one just recently was crazy, and you could tell by the end of it, we were like, right, we didn't have time, so it's not as good. It's not as good.
I love the flyer that you guys made. I love the bingo night you guys had. I mean, you guys are probably like one of my favorite channels. Bridge, and I love the way you guys switch it up. Like I said, I don't have. There's a lot of channels that I watch that talk mad shit about Foodie Beauty that are entertaining, that change their voice and do all this other stuff like that. I like the Jamaican girl that talks.
Oh, she was funny. Yeah, she's funny.
I think it's just a girl, please. I like that.
Yeah, she was funny. I like her.
Fucking hilarious. Like, it's no doubt about it. Like, I even put her on. I promoted it on my channel, and she's a foodie hate channel, but it's the channels that do it like that and make it funny, make it fun, make it interesting, and every time you watch it's something different. I fucks with them. I watch it all day. I never criticize one of them, but I just go at the lazy channels, the ones that are just not saying nothing and just and just lazy.
Yeah, I think the thing, getting back to what we were actually talking about, I was going to be looking over the bridge one, but I don't think we really need to now because I've given you the opportunity to speak. I'm happy that you've explained things to me anyway. If anyone's got any questions they want to ask YOMAMA, then go ahead. But there's just something else I want to ask. And it's gone out of my head because I'm a boomer.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. One of the things I don't like, now this could be a generational thing, YOMAMA. Right. One of the things I really don't like is the way you keep coming for people's looks. And
no, I'm worried. I'm waiting for my day because there'll be
especially-
something.
No.
especially
Ad
like
hominem
this
attack.
girl, when you
Oh my God, Edna.
when you just kept going on about her looks and her wig and everything. That's something that I try not to do. If I'm talking, if I'm reacting to somebody, I try not to go for their looks because that's the that's the obvious thing, isn't it? So if I have to say something negative about you, it would be that, really.
No, I know I agree with you. I agree. I guess it's me. I'm more like a person who, because people always talk about my looks. People always make fun of me sweating and me. I like it though. I like when people like, yo mama this, yo mama, your hairline this and this and that. Like I joke with Yato and I joke with BGTV about their, and I guess it's just more of like a roast. It's not nothing like super. It's just like I'm like really getting on them. But I just come from an era, or I come from where I'm from. Is just like we roast each other. Like we talk about each other's jeans. We talk about each other's tight shirts, and we talk about
What do you call it? The dozens? Playing the dozens?
What?
I said, didn't we used to call it playing the dozens?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, Bridge.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a bit like that when I talk to my brothers. Like I spoke to my brothers yesterday on FaceTime, YOMAMA, and they're all Jamaican, right? But a couple of them are in America and one was in Jamaica, and they just rip each other apart all the time. And they're like, "Oh, Jan, don't mind us. We're just joking." And I'm like, I can take that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not precious, for God's sake. Just because I'm a girl doesn't mean to say that I'm precious.
Yeah, and I try to add that family atmosphere, like to my stream, like my barbecue. How I was raised, how I grew up. I try to add that kind of stuff to my stream, like how we roast each other, how we talk shit about each other, how we rag. Like I talk about my sister's wig all the time. Well, she don't wear a wig. Her weave, I be calling her weave, and how Martin Lawrence used to talk about Pam, like buck shots.
Do you think that Martin Lawrence and Pam would fly nowadays? I think he would be canceled.
Yeah, exactly. But I grew up on that though. I grew up on
Pam I agree. Martin
talking about each other. Yeah, I grew up on that. So I bring that to my YouTube channel. Like I bring my Martin, my talking shit to my YouTube channel, and a lot of people are they didn't grow up on that and they're not used to it. But it's just like I can't like change who I am, like how I grew up. I gotta bring that on my YouTube channel, because if I don't bring it, I'm not. I don't feel like I'm authentic. The only thing I changed is the B word. That's it. I said I respected that.
We've had this discussion. We had this discussion earlier because
we just said it.
It was hard, but
as Brits, the B word, bitch, we call our best friends bitch.
Yeah.
And especially gay men.
Yeah.
They use it all the time. So it's not offensive to us. But we were talking about the N word.
Yeah.
And that over here, we don't use it. Well, not in my circles and not in Zena's circles. We don't use it at all.
I think because you
So
guys grow up,
somebody
y'all
said
didn't-
to me, well, how can you like Yo Mama if he's using it all the time? And
Yeah.
I was like, because I can recognize that Yo Mama comes from an area and he was brought up in a culture where they use that word not in a derogatory form.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, we grew up in a Jim Crow era, you know.
Yeah.
It was you know, it was used very negatively, but
Yeah.
our grandparents used it to insult each other and talk trash to each other, you know. And you know, and then our parents used it. Like my mom always said, "Little nigga, get your ass downstairs." Or, you know, she used to say that shit all the time to me. Like, I'd be like, man, god damn, I didn't even have a name. My name was Little Nigga. Like, that was
Oh my goodness. It was a
I love
complete
what my mom used to
opposite
call
for
me.
me. Like
I
that
knew
was
she
a
was talking
no-no
to
word.
I knew she was talking to me when she said it. But yeah,
Oh wow.
you know,
That
man,
is
get right.
mad.
But
That is mad.
but yeah, I mean, it's just like that's just our coach. That's just how we came up. And then in the streets,
Yeah.
it's like used. It's in every other word is that word. You know what I mean? So
That's
Mm.
what I said. That's exactly what I said before. It's like you use it as a filler word. It depends how you have it in your sentence structure and stuff like that. And it very much
Right.
the way that you predominantly use it is a filler word rather than an actual word to insult somebody. Even though you do, but it's
Exactly.
very filler.
It's that
What
word.
is-
Do you
Like
guys?
the UK people
you-
use fuck in every single part of the
Yeah.
sentence. Like fuck this, fuck that. I mean, it's just part of it.
Like, do
They
you guys have a word that you can use? It's just one word, but depending on how you say it, it's either offensive or it's funny or
Fuck
it's like,
off.
huh?
Fuck off. I think
No,
that'll be the word.
no, he means like the N word. I'm just trying to think of an insult we could use.
But it's not.
Wanker. I don't know.
It can also be. It can be an insult, but it can also be like a what's up, happy. It can be
Fella.
Okay. Dickhead. Are you dickhead? I'd say
yeah,
that.
dickhead.
Hey,
That would
you're
be
yeah,
one.
you're right, dickhead. Yeah.
dickhead can go both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like you can wake
yeah.
you can see somebody in the morning and say, "Hey, what's up, dickhead?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, you can.
I'm offended.
Yeah.
Somebody
Yeah,
I
you
better
can.
not never be eating my cereal and somebody come up to me and say, "Hey, dickhead." Hey, what?
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, like whether it's like partner or friends, I've answered the fly. You're right, dickhead. And yeah, that's what you do. Yeah.
Oh,
Very much so.
yeah.
And
Or knobhead.
also, funnily enough, bitch is like that.
Yeah.
Bitch can switch up. Yeah, bitch can switch up. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. It could go
But I
either
think
way.
there definitely changes in our languages.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But you know what?
like,
I'm offended by the B word. I don't like it. And I know that people
really?
said, yeah, it's something about it. I remember
Wow.
one of my roommates said it one time, and I was like, what? No, we're not doing that. Mm-mm.
Yeah, a lot of
It rubbed me the wrong way.
a lot of females in the US, it is very offensive to them because it's like
It's like the
when-
C word, though. Everyone's offended by that, but I mean,
Yeah.
I
we
hate
wear it like a
it.
badge of honor over here.
females periods are you know, they very, I mean, I said to my guys, me and my boys said to each other and all that other stuff like that, but I understand it when a lot of women came to me and said, yo, can you not use that word when you're talking about creators? And I said, yeah, I respect that. You know, I
Mhm.
understand that, you know, could be offensive, like Jessica Messica when I said it about her when I first came on the scene, and she said, hey, can you just chill on calling me, because I'm not, you know. And I was like, oh, you know what, I respect that. You know, I get, I'm gonna switch it up, and I respected that, and I switched that up. I stopped saying that word completely on stream.
I
Do
really
you know what? I
don't.
don't know whether it's just me because I've been in conflicts, but not that many, so I've not really had insults thrown at me. I think it's not actual words like that offend me. It's words calling me that I was, you know, if I was a liar. Words like that would offend me more than me just
Yeah.
being called a bitch. If someone liar or, you know, something along that ilk. That's what would upset me more than be calling a twat. I love calling people a twat though, because you say it wrong. Americans say it wrong.
Bro,
Yeah.
we say,
You
I
say
heard somebody
twat.
say, yeah, I
Twat.
heard somebody say that. I was like, what the fuck is a
What is
twat?
twat?
What's that?
Yes.
Oh wait,
We say
we
twat.
say twat.
The
You're right.
R, the
And
A
it's
has to
twat.
be a hard A. So it's like as in hat. So it's
Twat.
not you
Wow.
twat. You've got to have it
That's
with
like a Boston accent or something.
I don't-
Yeah,
See, now this is something we never use over here. Have you?
yeah.
We'd never use that over here.
What word?
No.
That would be like a double swear.
Yeah.
What word?
It's too
Mother
much
effer.
words.
What word is it?
Motherfucker.
I can't
Mother
even
effer.
say it.
Yeah, I think we'd go. I think we'd
Yeah.
say instead, Jan, like you absolute twat. We'd
Oh,
say it like that,
we,
wouldn't we?
we are definitely different in culture. Motherfucker could go either way too. You can say that when you wake up in the morning. Yo, motherfucker, what's up?
Yeah, no, it's just not English terminology at
No.
all.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever heard
Oh,
anyone
I think for us
say
it's for fuck's sake, I think. Or for fuck's sake. That's for me anyway. I say that a lot. Under my breath a lot of the time.
Yeah, I
when
like
the kids
that,
have
for
done
fuck's
something, oh,
sake.
for fuck's sake.
You know,
That's
Yeah.
usually
my
what I think.
favorite movie that of all time is Snatch.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Hmm.
it all
With the
those
fighters.
with the fighters and
My
Brad Pitt.
partner has a big tattoo of that and a big portrait of that on his leg.
Oh my god, it's a
It's
great
thing, yeah.
but yeah, the words and the like the twat and all that other stuff like that.
Yeah.
A
It's
long time
Irish, isn't it?
yeah, I was trying to speak it and everything like that. It was because it's like it's a huge culture, like it's a whole difference between us. It's crazy.
Yeah,
That's it. That's
the
Gypsy
Irish-
Travelers. You need to work on your British accent 100%. It's terrible.
Yes, please don't ever use that British accent again, yeah, Mama. It was awful. I was cringing. I was shrinking. I was like, your British accent the other day, your English accent was awful.
It was terrible.
Wait, I gotta
Never
give
use it again, man. Never.
what does it sound like? No way.
Well, there's mine, which I'm up north, like Mancunian, and then there's Jan's who's Landan, fucking Landan. So it can go either way.
Can you hear the difference? You Americans, can you hear the difference between mine and
To be honest, I really can't.
Really? We sound completely different.
You're more Scottish, and Jazz sound more like England.
What do I sound like?
Scottish.
What do I sound?
Like
I've had that before. I've met Americans before, and they've said that I sound Scottish. Wow.
Yeah.
That's my favorite accent in the world, though. To be fair.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Not exactly.
I watched this American guy who he's always moving to different countries, and he moved over to England a few years ago, and he even got English citizenship. But anyway, he quite often does videos comparing Britain with Americans, and it's fascinating.
I love it. I love watching them videos. I've told
Yeah,
I sent Frida a big box. I sent Frida a big box of like the stuff that you don't get over there in America and stuff, and stuff for a family and that. Like, oh my god, what are these? And then she's gonna send over like all the really all the American stuff. Like there was like all the the flags and everything, all the gaudy stuff, like what we don't get over here. So yeah, we love talking about like she put in the chat the ins and outs of a cat's arsehole, which I say often.
I find it fascinating though that the Americans can't really hear a difference between our accents.
We
because
sound
there's
totally
so many
different.
words that we say totally differently.
Yeah,
100%.
100%.
So, yeah, I do find that a bit weird.
I find it weird that y'all don't think my accent is on point, because I think
it's terrible. It sounds like you're a drunken Australian meets South African meets.
It was a little Australian.
Yeah, it did go Australian.
It's just Edna, says Capone. It's just Edna. You can't hear the difference.
There's no way.
Could be me.
My accent bad.
But my accent, that's like Steve Irwin. I said it's Steve Irwin meets Dick Van Dyke.
Accent.
Yeah, accent. My accent is like the best ever.
No, it's not ever. That's Australian. Like I said, it's Steve Irwin meets Dick Van Dyke. It's so bad.
I said that when he was doing it. I said in the chat, I said, God, he sounds like Dick Van Dyke. And
yeah,
to understand it. But, anyway, I want to say thanks so much, everyone. Is there anything else you want to say, YOMAMA?
Well, I just want to say, what everybody in Canada, Canada's beautiful place. This is my first time in Canada, Toronto.
Oh yeah, you're in
Oh, yeah,
Toronto.
you're there, yeah.
It is beautiful out
Nice.
here. It is kind of cold, but it is it's nice out here. And yeah, any I know there's a lot. Girl World is Canada, I guess. Is it? Amber Lynn started
Yeah.
Girl World from the US, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's in
Um,
Oklahoma now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Isn't
yeah,
that where Timber is? Isn't that where Timber is? Is it a
she's
birthday?
yeah,
Oh
Oklahoma.
yeah.
yep.
Is Timber still around? People are asking. I have no idea. I don't talk to Timber.
It was her
Oh.
birthday yesterday. Happy
That's
birthday.
what I just said.
Happy birthday, Timber. Do you know what? It must be so horrible thinking that every time you go online now, people are going to be saying happy birthday, Timber.
Oh, I mean, when you have two
Like
birthdays in
12
one
times.
year, you're never gonna live that down.
She's gonna
So, yo, Mama, I've got to ask you, you going to meet up with Monty or what?
I'm leaving on Sunday. I don't think he's gonna come out. I don't think he's gonna come out to out my way. But I would
Yeah.
love
I mean, look. I mean, Monty
Monty
likes them snow bunnies and the what did he call
The
Tiny
snow
Dancer?
bunny.
The snowy tits. The snowy
that-
titties. Do you remember that?
Oh,
And
yeah,
I
but Jamaicans
know why
like them.
Monty, I know why Monty the way he is, and he like them purple glitters and everything. Out here in Toronto, it's all snow bunnies. That's it.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's just it's. I think I only seen 2 black girls,
Oh.
and
Oh, really?
only like 2 of them, and I was just like, I almost ran up to him and hugged him, and I said,
Aw.
Welcome to my
Is that-
world.
"Woo, woo, we're here. We made it."
We colonized.
Wow.
Oh my
You
God.
make me
Have you-
appreciate my
have you
city.
taken your wife up there with you?
No, I was just with her in Florida. They're
Oh.
at Disney World. They're finishing the last leg of Disney World, and then
Oh,
I'm-
don't say that. Just Breeze will do a video of you abandoning your kids
I know.
again.
Oh,
I know
bad.
I needed to do a charity stream to get to pay for it. Goddamn.
I
Get on
know.
your scooter up there. She's coming for you with the sirens.
For real.
Yeah. The girl is crazy. But listen,
Disney
I
is
was going to say
expensive.
to
You
you,
can't blame her.
Mama, have you been watching the Twitter fight between Gigi and
Gigi,
Monty? Have you been watching that
You
garbage?
know what? I got a chance to look at the Monty video where he saw Gigi in the booth.
Yeah.
And he,
Yeah. What did you think?
a young kid or something like that. I thought that was just
Mhm.
Monty. Like Monty be reaching for the sky. I never heard that. Like a guy in a booth, like doing some like grind dance. Like he didn't take his
dancing.
nothing. And that proves to me that Monty didn't grow up with black family. Because when I was 8 years old, my grandparents used to listen to Marvin Gaye and grind on the goddamn dance floor.
Well,
Okay.
that's what we just said about Uncle Nobed being on the dance floor. You always get, that's how it is.
He used to be out there dancing. And my grandma didn't give a shit about. What's wrong with you, Monty? You ain't got no black
Okay,
family.
so
Your mama ain't never
what
called
do
you
you think
downstairs to do
about
the
the
Michael Jackson.
folder then?
My mom used to call me downstairs and do Michael Jackson in front of company. Go ahead.
I
baby.
was just saying Tom Jones gyrating and all that for over here. I mean, that's white family as well, so it's not just that. So yeah, I don't think he grew up with any family at this rate.
Reaching so high at the moment. It's like
Oh my
it would be funny if the accusations weren't so crazy and
Ludicrous.
hurtful.
About a guy wearing goddamn balls on his ears.
I just said this. Apparently, it's racist. It's racist.
I said this motherfucker out here crazy. He lost his damn mind. You talking, what the fuck does some Christmas balls got to do with black women? Man,
Because
I'm telling
apparently,
you.
because the stereotype is that they wear big ears. I thought it was, honest to God, I thought it was going to go down the route of, like tribes of having the stretched ears and stuff like that. That was
Yes.
honestly the route that I was, because I could see where he's still coming from. But again, how many people have stretched ears? It's fashion. It's been like that for however long. But he didn't. He said the fact that stereotypically black women wear big earrings. I thought,
I've
oh,
never
fucking
heard
hell,
that
I wear big
before.
earrings all the time.
This man is out of control. He's out of control. He's reaching.
Ridiculous.
But but as I saw, I see his views and I see that he's just going downhill. He's going down the slope of Natter. You know,
Yeah.
he's losing.
Natter.
He does sound as if he's losing the plot.
Natter,
Yeah.
like Natter and Dee Dee, like their chat and their stream is just not what it used to be, and people just don't feel comfortable being in there no more, you know, because when you're in a chat like that, then you're associated with those people, and a lot of people don't like to be associated with Monty too much. It's only a few people now, but people don't like to really be associated with Monty because Monty's claims are just ridiculous. And I get it. I get GG goes far sometimes too, and you can call him out for his shit too, but it's the reaching for me that just like, and I feel like a lot of times Gigi tries to move on to something else, you know.
Yeah.
He's trying to do the just breezing thing. He's trying to go on to some more funner subjects. He sees me and a couple of other people having a time with the just breezings and the other people, and I'm moving in that direction. But Monty wants to drag him into a fight with him. And if I'm honestly Gigi, I just would not get in a fight with Monty. It is not going to do anything for you. You got a bigger crowd than him. You do better numbers than him. And I would just let him sink. You know what I'm saying?
But it's just really hard when you're being accused of being a PDF. I think this was a line. So obviously, you know yourself that if someone was to accuse you on that caliber, you're not going to not respond. But then that's obviously what Monty wants. Monty
That's
wants
what you
that.
have to do. What he needs to do is what I do. If I have an issue with somebody, I'll do a video about them, and I'll try and make it amusing. I'll edit it, and I'll get everything that I want out onto that video.
Yeah,
and
that's what I did, and
when
he's
I
not
do my
responded to
live
us either, has he?
streams, I just have people in there that I like.
I don't think that works with Monty. Monty will take any word or anything you say, and he'll stretch it to make it something else. Like if you mention that man, you say something about that man, he'll take something that has nothing to do with what you're talking about, and he'll just stretch it to make it seem like it's something else. And the little bit of people that still watch him, they honestly fall for it, and it's fine, cool. But I mean, but I was wrong. You're right. If I'm Gigi, I would respond to somebody calling me a pedo. I just let that slide. To be honest with you, I couldn't let that.
You can't, because again, it defames you. It is defamation to the utmost degree. I mean, most people, you can be called a grifter, you could be called this, you could be called that, but when it's to do with things that are you can't, you know, like with crimes and stuff, there's no what's the word, rehabilitation or anything for crimes like that with children. You saw how the community came for Kaya. So never mind if things are like that being accused of, people straight away are going to cancel you and call you all the names under the sun. So I would respond if I was being called them names too.
But it's hard. I don't think Twitter is the right place to respond.
100% no, of course not.
Because you're more spontaneous on Twitter. So if somebody says something really mean to you, you're more likely to sort of say, oh, you know, F off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas with me, I like to take a step back. I don't pay any attention if people are being mean to me on Twitter. But I'll do videos, like I just did the expose on the Hyena Arena, and I won't talk about them now, you know. Because otherwise it's too easy to get into the backwards and forth, you know, back and forth.
Yeah, it never ends, and that's what I mean why I did that video as well, where, you know, that condensed video of like 20 minutes of just added there, right? There's no need to go back and forth unless obviously something else comes up, but a lot of time it's there, but he never responded to it. And I think he gets to a point as well where he realizes if it's a video, he doesn't really seem to react to it. It's more of a live where I think it's off the cuff, it's not scripted, and you know, your words can get lost in translation.
I get the feeling then that Monty's one of these people that he likes the Twitter arguments, because
I think so.
He knows that the person that he's arguing with is more likely to say something that he can tear apart. Whereas if it's a properly formed video, he can't do that. Especially if, like myself, what I do is I rarely speak on the videos I put up. I just let them speak.
Yeah.
You know, and then how can they come back from that? You know, I mean, they can try, but there's no real point because I've already shown what you've said. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did.
I honestly like I like you and Smoke Arena's back and forth. I like it because it just stays, because y'all beef just stays kind of like on the internet, which is kind of funny because I like both of y'all, to be honest with y'all.
Yeah, I know you do.
I like Smoke.
Me too.
Remember,
yeah.
Smoke Arena. You remember Smoke Arena came at me like when I first came on the scene. They talk shit about me and they talk shit about me and going at Vicky vibes and we had a back and forth, but it was a funny back and forth, and it was like I like that kind of
Yeah.
like they talk shit about me, like they talk shit about my looks, I talk shit about their looks kind of thing. I like that whole back and forth where I know that it's kind of like safe because I want to go to the point where they're gonna show up at my door. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're at the end of the day, you could say whatever you want to say about Smoke Arena, or you could say anything about Jans or anybody else, but you know that they're not going to try to interfere in your real life. They just going to try to keep it. You know what I mean? And that I like that. That kind of rivalry I respect. You know, the other kind of rivalry where people don't know how to drag or they don't know how to come back at you. So the best way they try to come back at you is try to get your family involved or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Those kind of people I just don't.
Or worse, like as a sniper wolf, you know, it's just like just having the implication be out there to release information, and if it happens to get into the wrong hands, you know, they act like their hands are clean. And you know, it's crazy people out here.
And that's why I say, like, when people try to get in like my real life or whatever like that, they got to understand like California's a whole different place, like especially in LA, like the police and everybody, they're on their shit. So it's like if you get caught up doing any kind of weird stuff out here in LA, like you are going to be like, they're going to come down on you like hard, you know? So that's why I tell a lot of people, I was like, man, you dox the wrong person, it's not going to end the way you think it's going to end. You know what I'm saying? So be very careful. I think doxing period is just disgusting. It's nasty. And
there's no need for it either. You know, at the end of the day, you know,
a lot of the time it's just a tactic. A lot of the time, they're not going to use anything from it. It's just to intimidate a lot of people. A lot of the time, at surface level, but.
It's like, you know, Monty calling you out, YOMAMA, and saying, oh, you're coming to Toronto, you know, oh, well, maybe I should come, and It's just so stupid. You're a grown man. Why would you get yourself in trouble with some lunatic on the internet when you're a family man, you've got kids, you're doing a job? Do you know what I mean?
And then it was so funny because Monty, like when I got into it with Monty, it was so funny. Like he looked into my life. Like the man literally looked into my life. It was crazy. I think he was trying to find like a arrest record or something, because I think that's the first thing they try to go for. But then he found that, oh, he went to school. He went to IT college. You know, he went to DeVry. And then he tried to make fun of me going to college. And I was like, dude, what? Like that's your comeback? He went to DeVry College. I'm like,
oh my God, that's terrible though. Why do that?
Okay, like, I'm sorry.
That's like a twisted, I'm sorry, but for me, that's like a twisted mind.
Yeah,
you know,
it is.
I can fall out with people online, like with the, you know, the Smoke Arena. I don't want to speak to them. They're just not my kind of people. Do you know what I mean? But there's no, I haven't spent today looking up who the hell, you know, BGTV is or anything like that. What's the point? You know,
that's what they did in his chat. They just went into his chat and just decided to dox him just because it was just to intimidate him. And obviously, you know, I remember him putting on Twitter things like, oh, well, if that's not bothering you, maybe I'll put about your daughter's stuff instead. And obviously his daughter's a minor and it's his child and a non-combatant.
Oh, wow, that's too much.
Yeah, exactly. His daughter and his wife, but they were mainly homing in on his daughter. Like, you know,
I'm wondering where's the line with the doxing, because I thought if it's
BGTV's daughter
is that doxing. But when you're going into family and that, I mean, that's crossing the line right there. But like, so so if someone has something posted on one platform and you bring it to another, is that doxing?
No,
this is the thing, isn't it? Like, to me, what I personally think is doxing or not, because obviously the whole thing again with Monty, I say, well, it's, you know, it's public information, it's public. Yes, loads of things are public information in the digital world. However, it's not put on this platform. This was the argument that I had in terms of his mother's funeral, and I'm not going against it. whatsoever. I think he pressed the wrong button. If I'm completely honest, I think it's a great platform to share on, to round people around the world. However, I think what he did was not set it to private or unlisted. I think he put it on public by accident, and it went out there and someone grabbed the link completely by accident, right? And obviously that's where it's streamed
Right.
on YouTube personally. And I know he would never stream his mother's funeral. I really don't think he would do that. So obviously it got spread around by not the great people, but it came from YouTube, and that's the argument. However, when there's other things from even Facebook, or I know there's a MySpace, then that's how old I am, Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and then if it's brought on to YouTube, if it doesn't belong there, then it shouldn't be on there.
But that's what doctors do. That's
Exactly.
What
No, I agree, and
do.
that's where. But the argument is that it's public information.
Yeah,
I know.
and I admit when I came on this, when I first came on the scene, and I come from a different community and everything like that. When I first came on the scene, when I got the information about Allah and his wife on Facebook, and I put the pictures up, that I really was bad about that, and I even said like I made a huge mistake, and I messed up, and you can only
We'll make mistakes.
yeah when you mess up.
Yeah.
Or you shouldn't have pushed this button, and I had conversations with Allah and everything like that. It was just a poor moment, poor judgment, and you learn from it, you know what I mean? And if you're not if you do something wrong and you just continue to do it, or you don't even care that you did what you did, like the BGTV thing, like you don't show no remorse, that's just disgusting, and it's just nasty in itself, you know what I mean?
I didn't know he'd got doxxed. Who doxxed him?
Yeah, I don't. Some people on Twitter, the typical people that beef with them, they just.
Well, it's like, what would you say? I don't know if any of you know the creator, but it's that before they were famous.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the channel?
Yeah.
Is that classed as doxing?
Yeah, because they go.
They go in. They go
don't
in. Yeah.
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 But I heard that contact a lot of the people that they're going to do their stories on and their families, and they give them information. They have a I saw a behind the scenes of their thing, and they were talking about doing one celebrity, but to get information, they talk to the family, and they also email the person that they're doing the story on, and they get
okay. All right, okay, that's got a bit more at least morale to it then.
It is an argument that they will always use, though. It is an argument. They will say, oh yeah, well, it was on her Facebook. I mean, they didn't dox me from my Facebook. What they did was they doxed my kids. And I've got grown-up kids, and they put all their information up, and they got that from Facebook. And I rarely go on Facebook, but they got their names, their ages, my grandkids, all from Facebook.
That's disgusting.
So that is doxing.
Yeah.
They will say, excuse me, they will say that, oh well, it was public. It's public information, so it's okay.
Yeah. No, that's disgusting. No, it's like in this part of YouTube, it's being used to, just like she said, like intimidate. They just want to intimidate you.
Yeah.
They want to stop you in your tracks, stop you from doing what you're doing. And a lot of people have quit. A lot of people, stopped. Vicky vibes, like Vicky said, no more. I got a real life. I got things going on, and these people are just, they're disgusting. And I totally understand that. Like if I had if I didn't have clients that I have, like the clients that I have that I work with and make the money that I make, and I had like a 9-to-5, like whatever, and that was in jeopardy, I wouldn't be doing YouTube. I wouldn't be doing YouTube, but I definitely wouldn't be in Grow World. That's 100%. And because I wouldn't want to jeopardize, putting food on my family's plate just because I want to make some jokes on YouTube,
I know, but they don't see it that way, do they? That means nothing to them.
Exactly.
Which shows that they're just nasty, evil people.
100%.
I mean, that's one thing I will say about you, YOMAMA, and I've always said it. You do hold yourself accountable, and if you've done something wrong, then
Yeah.
you will say, "Oh, I did that wrong. I shouldn't have done that." Blah blah. But you get no credit for it because the people that watch, you know, these people that watch are only interested in seeing the nasty side of you. Do you know
That's
what I mean? And you know, it's a bit like that for me. And I love my little corner where I've only got a few people in the chat and everything. But I tell you what, they all seem to see my videos. They're
Yeah.
always talking about them. They're always saying Jan's views this, Jan's views that.
Oh yeah, this conversation is gonna be clipped somewhere on another channel, on somewhere, because there are people watching and somebody gonna tell somebody else, and it's always like that. It's always like, you know, you'll be seen somewhere, and people will take your words out of context and
Yeah.
make video about it, which is kind of wild. But I mean, it comes with the territory. But
Yeah.
you know, and that's why I'm here. I'm just trying to change change how it is. You know, I want people to be more comfortable. You know, I'm okay with showing my 2-year-old. You know, people tell me not to, but I'm like, you know, if you're gonna do something that's to a 2-year-old, let people see you and then be
Yeah.
that. Because
Yeah.
now people are attacking the doxers. The doxers aren't like out in the open and comfortable anymore. They're at a point where they gotta hide. They gotta hide behind some avatar, blah blah blah. They're not out there no more because
Yeah.
it's not cool to be a doxer in today's world.
No. And I wouldn't have got the work that I've got off of my channel because, as small as it is, I've had TV work off of this and I've had radio work off of this.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, I have.
Yeah.
And that was a few years ago when I was just doing, like, you know, Peter Mon videos.
Yeah.
But if I was, like these people say, you know, full of hate and always, you know, hating on people, I would never have got that job. I would never have been put on, you know, TV. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
these people just don't know when to stop.
Yeah.
They
But
confuse criticism with like look
hate.
it's
Hate,
like
yeah.
with hate. And it's
Yeah.
two different things. It's like you can have a critical view of someone and be funny or be light or be X, Y, and Z. You don't have to be hateful and vile and really tear into someone. And there's many creators in this section that
And I
do
think
that.
that's what with YOMAMA with that last stream, that was what we're highlighting, because it was out of character, where you did come over as being hateful, and maybe it's just something to maybe just, you know, I'm not saying not react to these people at all, but like just to take a step back of like, you went a bit too far, then you were pretty much like FFG at that one particular stream.
Listen,
And everyone has bad
I've
days.
always
so
said
hard
that YOMAMA's like one of my sons. So
Yeah.
when I think he's going over, you know, maybe I shouldn't have said, "Oh, you're showing you're biased," but you know, I see him as like one of my sons, you know. And you know, if I think he's being a bit over cheeky, I'll bloody tell him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean to say that I'm scared to speak to him. Jesus.
I make it where everybody is able, and I see your point when you said about when I went at milk and tea. I think
I think it's milk tea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Huh? Milky tea?
You know, we say milk and tea. It's milk tea.
Milk tea.
Milk tea.
Milk tea. So I think that she is so I'm mad at her because I think she's so good at what she does that she can do it on other subjects, on other like reactors or something else, you know?
Yeah, no, I get it. I understand.
I do get your point.
I get it as well. I get it
Yeah,
100%.
She's smart. She's really smart.
Oh, she's very, very intelligent.
She does her homework. She's really good at what she does. And then when I look at her channel and I peep it every now and then, I go in there, I peep it, and I see and I count and I see 40 videos on Foodie Beauty in 30 days. And I'm just like, why though? Like she didn't do nothing that interesting this month to warrant you doing 2 videos a day. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, but the reality is that's how they earn their money.
I get that, but she's so good.
The reality.
But why aren't people so comfortable? Be like, okay, let me dip.
I honestly don't think she has the time because she works like like she's working in like Middle East, I think,
I
at the
think
moment.
she's
She's
an
a
English
teacher.
teacher.
She
I think
is. She's an
an
English teacher. Yeah, and
But
really, I think
people
it's
watch what they watch. You
yeah,
gotta
but
look
it's
at somebody
delving
like
into a new
Hungry
topic,
Patch.
isn't it? Delving into a new
Huh?
topic is like if you delve into a new topic, you're gonna need to do your research and learn a lot. But she knows foodie for years and years, and it's just easy to obviously talk about her while she's so busy. So maybe that's just why she just sticks to her because it's
No, but what
easy.
I'm saying, no, I agree with Bridge. What I'm saying is, I think foodie is the topic, and I
Yeah,
get what you're saying. Like, you think she's too talented to essentially limit herself to foodie, but
Yeah.
I think if that's what she's interested in, I mean, that's what she's gonna be drawn to,
But
and
the
people
thing
are
is,
watching.
when you're interested in, okay, I get you interested in foodie, but you're just looking for the flaws though. When I see her videos, she's just sitting there. She edits it and she cuts it up to get to. She's already like looking like, okay, I can't believe she did this, blah blah blah, and I'm like, you're FFG, but in a nicer version. You know what I mean? And I can see that.
Mhm.
You're a nicer version of FFG. That's all that it is. It's no different, but you're a nicer version. You do the same exact thing. And I'm not saying that you got to sit on your channel and give credit to Foodie Beauty. Of course not. But just to sit there and wait for her to do something bad so you can. She was like, oh my God, she's leaning on the refrigerator. Like, what? What does
But
that mean?
But
Where
that's
are
what
we
she
going?
does, and that's how she got her numbers,
But
you know. But
but
it's not something that we would do, but
right.
it's something that she's done,
But
and she's been
why can't
rewarded.
we get on? Why can't people get on a comfort level of stepping out and showing like, hey, I can do this, but I can do this too, right? Like I can't listen to a rapper that's rapping the same way with the same every goddamn day. I'm gonna be like, yo, dog, I'm listening to another rapper. Or you better put an R&B singer on there. Do something. I don't
the
care that
thing
you
is,
gotta
it's working smarter and not necessarily harder. And the thing is,
exactly,
if
and
you
that's
look,
what I'm
I
and
saying.
think
I agree with
it's
you. I agree with you.
risky.
Look how Amber Lane and look how Foodie have got their notoriety. It's not by talent, right? It isn't been. It's just what they do, and they've got that. They've garnered that from it. So, for example, you've got people that will put their effort into the streams and do the edits and this and that, but it kind of falls on deaf ears because then you've got someone who just literally will pause and play the video, do no effort, background whatsoever, and then they get all the views. Why? It's because they're just shitting on the same person and they are providing the content of what people want. People aren't interested of seeing the back of the talent and the edits and this and that, even though you've put so much work into it and you can see how creative that they are. It's only a handful of people that will actually appreciate that. People just want to be there for the shit show.
That's one of the reasons
The
I
shit
stopped
show.
doing. That's one of the reasons I stopped doing Peter Mon, because I got quite a big following doing it. And then I thought, do I want to be known? Because then when you get a big following, you also get a big following of haters because they don't like you talking about that person. And I thought, well, I don't want him to be the only person that I'm talking about.
No,
So
exactly.
that's why I don't get a lot of views or anything, because I don't focus on one person to slag off. I don't get all their haters come to see me slag off somebody. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's sort of, I don't know, it's a bit like what's that sword acronym thing? Two sides of the sword, you know, because would I like more people to watch my videos? Maybe, but then I'd rather have people that like different things than people that just like me shitting on one person.
Double-edged sword.
That's it, Sasha. That's it. So I do understand what YOMAMA's saying. I do understand that.
Because what it turns into is when you see lazy content creators like that and they get numbers, guess what? People watch that and say, wow, that's easy to do. Let me do it. Then you get that's why you got so many goddamn Foodie Beauty reaction channels. You got about 100 of them out there because they're like, oh, I can do that. All I gotta do is sit here, hit the pause button, give my comment, and then hit it again. That's it. and you just
Yeah.
create a clusterfuck of sorry ass reaction channels.
Yeah,
that
and
just pop
they've
up.
got nothing, no substance to what they're saying, and then they're hypocrites as well. Like it is insane. But it's like the videos that we've done. We thought we would have obviously done. We just recently did an Amber and Foodie one, and we thought that one would have, you know, maybe hit better in the algorithm because it was directly about Amber and Foodie. It was like a, you know, competition of who's better kind of thing, and that one's one of our least views out of it. All the ones that we've done. The Girl World adjacent one did really well, and the Monty ones did really well, but they weren't really edited. They were kind of off the cuff, but they seem to do better compared to
Yeah.
all the ones that we heavily edited and, you know, visually.
They've got such a huge, you know, a huge algorithm. That's why.
Yeah.
You know, whereas me doing my Canva tutorials, you know, I don't get hit by the algorithms at all. And that's why it's so important. It's important for me anyway to enjoy what I do.
Yeah. And for me, to be honest with you, as much as people want to say this and don't and always try to say this, but I live by this. I don't care about numbers. I honestly care about just making classics. Like my songs that I made.
Your songs are good.
And the videos that I made, they don't do the numbers my live does. None of them do the numbers my live does, but I love them because they're classics and I know they're going to live to the test of time. And I know, like, fucking 5 to 10 years from now, somebody's going to look back, and they've done this with my Madden song videos too. They go back and for the first time they've never seen it and go, oh my God, this was like fucking the greatest thing I've ever seen. Like it's like the best thing I've ever seen, the Hussy and all this other stuff. People are going to look back at that 5-6 years from now. It's something that it satisfies me. I'm happy to go back and rewatch it. I don't care if it has 20 views, 30 views, 40 views. I enjoy it. I know it's a classic. I know 5 years from today, people are going to watch it. And it's like these lives that get maybe 3,000 people in the live chat and do like 20,000 to 40,000 views. Nobody's going to look back and watch that again 5 years from today. Nobody's going to look back at them lives that people have done and go back and watch them again. They always stay stuck on the same number. You never see them move. If it's 22,000 views, like a few FFG video that she did, when it's at 23,000 views, nobody goes back a week later and rewatches it. They don't have no rewatch value. Great edited videos have great rewatch. It's great to rewatch, and that's why your Amber and Foodie video is a classic. And in the future, people are gonna look back and they're gonna watch it again, and you're gonna enjoy watching it. That's all that really counts.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, my biggest video, I think it's got 15K. Is when I walked around my local Lidl's, which is
I get that recommended to me all the time, Jan. All the time.
I did was just walk around this bloody shop talking about Aldi's. That's all I did, and that's got 15K. But it didn't get 15K overnight. That took years to get there. So you make a really good point there, YOMAMA, and that's why you should keep doing the music ones, because people don't understand that. People in girl world don't understand the concept of sustainability.
Exactly.
And that's another reason why I carry on doing my tutorials, because I know that one day somebody's going to click on it and think, oh, this girl does this on Canva, or this girl's an artist. I like what she does. I'm going to watch it. You know, it's a slow build. It doesn't have to be, you know, really quick because you're slagging off some fat girl.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. Because if you don't take YouTube as a hobby and you take this as making a quick buck and you take this as a job, then you're just in the wrong business. I take this is a hobby. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. When I'm not having a good time and I'm not having fun, I'm not streaming. I really don't give a shit about the money, to be honest with you. I'm good with that. It's a hobby. I have fun with it. I try to make a classic every day. I try to make people laugh. I try to have a good time. And yes, sometimes like the criticizing of that, like sometimes I do take it too far, and and I work on that, and every now and then and stuff like that. I do take my anger out on some people because I just can't stand to watch lazy content. You guys just don't understand. I cannot stand it. When I see somebody doing 40 videos on the same person, I get so mad because I love to switch my subject
What
every
about lazy
day.
content?
Huh?
How do you really feel about the lazy content?
I just hate it. I hate that so many good channels out here that put in the work, that change up the subjects, that can move, that do such a great job, and their numbers are okay. But it's the ones that just do the same thing every day. And I think I'm mad at them because it doesn't make me work hard, right? It makes me
You can't
like
be inspired by what they do.
exactly. I'm looking for that.
Right.
Foxy 8 inspires me. When you, I don't know if you noticed this, when she puts out a great classic video, a great cartoon, it makes me get in the lab and make a new song, make a new video, and I'm ready to bust out another YOMAMA track, something that I do great, edit it and sit there 8 hours and work hard and bust my butt. Because when I see somebody do something great, it makes me great. But when I see somebody just sit there and be lazy, it makes me lazy. And I don't want to be lazy.
Yeah. There's nothing inspiring about being lazy. And
inspire me. FFG, turn your camera on. Inspire me.
That's the thing as well, like, you know, no one showing the face, and it's just all about, you know, hiding and stuff. It's just that's just I just wish.
I mean,
people
I take great pleasure in my live streams again now. I used to do live streams a few years ago, and I used to get, you know, quite a few people in, and I just like, you know, it's like a big party. But then I wanted to sort of channel them, and that's what I've managed to do. And I'm so happy with what I've managed to do because you know, I'm an artist, so of course everything's going to be arty-farty, but the pleasure I get from that, from, you know, all my backgrounds and things like that, it just get like this, you know, it takes me hours.
It does take hours, trust me. Oh my God.
It takes hours, but it's worth it for me, you know. You'll see when you get home and you can see.
Yeah, like I don't sleep, so I usually, when the kids are in bed, that's when I do everything. And because obviously me and Frida are on different, you know, times and stuff, so we're trying to like kind of catch up with each other. So when she's in bed, I'm up, and it does take hours. That what, like I said, that one that we did for the boxing is like forever
people
to
don't
do.
understand that, and I know I can understand YOMAMA getting angry about it because he knows how much time goes into editing.
9 hours.
Yeah, easy.
Hours
and
hours.
Maybe
for like literally a few minutes, for just a few minutes worth of stuff. I mean, the slide that I did was overall about 7 minutes for the boxing stuff. And it took about 8. And obviously I've got the kids in between as well as everything else, work and what have you. So I'm trying to, you know, bits here and there, and that's why I just try and do it when the kids are asleep, because that's all the only time I can get stuff done.
Understand it, but you can see when people work on it. The thing is, if you edit your videos, then you can tell when other people do. It's like with YOMAMA, I know he, you know, obviously he edits his songs brilliantly, but I mean, even his live streams, you don't want people staring at the same thing, or just staring at the avatar the whole time.
Exactly.
But I mean, even Bridge here, I'm so proud of her because she's been editing her videos as well, and it's not easy. It's not easy. You know,
Bridget gets straight to the point. Yeah, and it took me 3 days to do that Hussy video. So
people don't understand.
No, the outside shots. I had to go buy wigs and all that other stuff like that. I had to get the scarf. It takes a lot of time, you know, but I do my thing off of it. I get inspired to do my thing. So, but you guys keep it. You guys, I enjoy your channel. I enjoy the drama. Thank you for having me on. Let me get back to this Toronto. Let me get back to.
You're always welcome, YOMAMA.
So thank you guys. You guys have a good night, and
thank you.
Take care.
Bye, YOMAMA.
Bye, YOMAMA.
Right, girlies, I'm going to call it 3 hours. Emma, it's your fault. It's your fault again.
It's always Edna's fault.
But I tell you what, that's what grown-up people do. It's funny because, like, when he said, "Oh, he wants to come up," it doesn't bother me. I knew he'd be all right. I like your mama. It's okay. It's like one of my sons, and he knows it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I can get annoyed with him. I can say, "Oh, for God's sake, yeah, mama, stop talking about this or stop talking about that." But at the end of the day, I like the guy, you know. So thanks so much, Zena. Lovely
You're
having you
welcome.
up
Thank you
here.
so much for having me on. Thank you so much.
Have a great weekend.
You too.
And
Bye,
also,
guys.
Edna, thank you, sweetness.
Bye.
Bye, Edna.
And
Bye.
guys, you all have a good weekend. It's a rotten old world out there. Okay, make the most of it. Keep warm. If you're in the cold country like we are, stay safe. God bless. Until next time. Bye bye for now.